whose return flights home from the holidays were canceled or delayed in the first days of the new year. FlightAware said more than 2,600 U.S. flights and more than 4,400 were grounded on Sunday. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy New Year, everybody. That's right. Welcome to it. Our first Monday in 2022. Back to the grind, back to school, back to work for everybody. Hope everyone had a wonderful New Year weekend. Or, well, I guess it'd be New Year because Friday night was the end of last year, so New Year weekend. I'd say one last hurrah, but technically it's the new hurrah for the next year. So, Happy New Year, everybody. Hope you're having a great week or had a great weekend or having a great day so far. I know this has nothing to do with nothing, but I learned something right out the gate today about my phone that has, this is dumb, but it kind of makes me happy. I don't know if this works on Androids. But if you've got an Apple, and watch this. Hey Siri, Lumos. Boom, turn my flashlight on.
Whoa.
See? Turn my flashlight on. That's a Siri trick. If you it's a Harry Potter thing. But
yeah,
okay. You know how you
so
say like if you want your light in Harry Potter if you wanted your wand.
So it knows Harry Potter references.
Yeah, to light up. You said Lumos and it would light up. Well, apparently your Apple smartphone will do the same thing. I just learned it about 5 minutes before air. I was online looking and I saw one of these things. I was this old today when I learned that Lumos, when I say it to my phone, it turns my flashlight on.
Oh man!
So enjoy that for the first half hour of your workday today, folks. If you get to play around and you get back to work here, you sit down and you don't really feel like doing work yet, so you start playing around. Well, you can play with that for 5-10 minutes. Just make your flashlight turn on and off on your phone.
The only one I know is the Wingardium Leviosa. So you say that, and then like your phone starts floating, or it just makes things float.
On the screen?
Oh no, that's just the spell then from the movie that makes things float.
Oh,
so like
okay.
that'd be funny if you said that, and then your phone just starts floating.
I know a couple. Expecto Patronus, you get the Patronus.
Yeah.
Stupefy.
Stupefy.
I'm trying to think of what the other ones they had, but yeah, it's been years.
Avada Kedavra.
Yeah. Oh, that's when you kill people.
Yeah,
that's the bad one. Yeah. I got flashlight going, so I'm halfway to wizardry. I'm halfway to being a wizard, so because I can turn a light on. But happy Monday, happy first of the year, first full show of 2023. Sean's not going to be here today. He's taking care of the business and stuff this morning. So just I and Roy, and of course we'll have some. I think we'll have some guests today. I'm not sure. We'll get to it.
The year is new.
That's right. We'll chit chat this hour. I got just me. I saw they put up. I mean, there's a lot going on. I mean, a lot of people died this weekend. I mean, John Madden, Betty White.
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on and on. Seems like Harry Reid was earlier than that, but a couple. But
yeah, me and Sean found out about that like after Friday's show.
Right after Friday's show is when I think Betty White's announcement came out that she passed.
Like weeks before turning 100.
Yeah. My wife told me, like she said, Betty White died. And I was like, nah, that's that same thing they've been passing around. Her. No, it's for real this time. It was, and I'm sure a lot of us did. No one believed when Betty White died. Like when they first saw it, they were like, nah, that's the.
Yeah, because she didn't look sick or.
Well, it's that they've been like putting fake Betty White died things on Facebook and social media for forever here for the last couple of years. I'll say we as a society jinxed her passing. Because I remember, like 2 weeks ago, like all the networks, everyone's talking, Betty White's going to be celebrating her 100th birthday, January, whatever it was, 12th or 17th or whatever it is. We got, and I think there's plans in the works to do a big 100th celebration bash. And I said to my wife, she didn't remember hearing it, of course, convenient. But I remember saying to my wife, I said, everybody's jinxed it. She ain't going to make it to the 17th. She ain't going to do it because everyone's like willing this into existence. And then when I found out Friday, I'm just like, I told you. I told you. It's your all's fault. She's the one she passed because you all were hyping up her birthday. And I was like, yeah, she's not going to make it to that birthday because y'all are hyping her up too much. And so I blame Society for the passing of Betty White on Friday.
Yeah, it didn't seem like she was. She's one of those people that seemed like they were never gonna die. Same with Larry King. Larry King.
Oh yeah,
Larry King. It
yeah,
seemed like he was never gonna die.
Yeah, he was around forever too. And then the John Madden thing. I wouldn't say we willed it into existence, but I saw the Christmas Day John Madden, the All Madden, whatever. It was a documentary they aired on Christmas. And I didn't watch it till over the weekend because I forgot it was on Christmas and I was doing Christmas stuff and didn't get a chance to watch it. So, but they re-aired it over like this last week and I recorded it and watched it over the weekend. And after watching it, it was really good, the John Madden, especially for someone who grew up, watching Madden on TV. I mean, he was a coach in the 70s. He was a
coach, yeah.
And I was a little young to really remember him as a coach, because when he's winning Super Bowls with the Raiders, I'm like 1. So, I mean, it was a while. But I do, remember vividly, him as the broadcaster and obviously the Madden football. But he was, and it's hard for people like yourself that didn't grow up watching him. To understand how much of an icon John Madden was.
Well, he had a whole video game.
Yeah, I mean, but even before
named
that,
after him.
He's just a guy that everybody liked. He's a rare breed in that I don't care. You could put any circle of people on Earth together. Whatever it is, you could put a group of terrorists. They talk to John Madden for an hour. They're like, that guy's a pretty good dude. I mean, that's just. I don't care what circle of people they are. John Madden was he's that guy that he was every man. And the documentary really explains it, but he was the guy that what you saw was what you got. There was no other John Madden, whether John Madden was calling a ball game or John Madden's having a beer with you in the bar. It's the same John Madden. You know what I mean? It's not the, there wasn't
his real life personality was the same.
There wasn't a persona. It's John Madden's John Madden. It wasn't John Madden the announcer, John Madden the coach. It was just John Madden. He rolled up and, hey, here's the guy, and doing all the things that boom and all that stuff. That's just how he was all the time. Yeah. And he was a guy that I think he knew what he was good at and knew what he wasn't good at. And you just enhance what you're good at and go with it, and that's what he was.
What I want to know is if Frank Caliendo is going to do anything again in his honor, because I love his stuff.
Well, that's just it. There's probably a whole generation of people that know John Madden, but they know Frank Caliendo's version of John Madden. It's like Harry Carey, which is probably a little before your time. Harry Carey was a longtime announcer for the Chicago Cubs and another lovable character.
Yeah.
But he would get plastered like every ball game, and he was kind of famous for the 7th inning stretch. Take me out to the ball game, Chicago Cubs. He was announced for the Cubs for a long time. And but yeah, his kind of claim to fame was when he'd do the 7th inning stretch, he'd go and sing it out to the crowd, and at 1, at 2, and you know what to do. Take me out, and he's 3 sheets to the wind every time he does this.
Huh.
And that's what was great about listening to his broadcast is a different time. You could kind of progressively tell when Harry Carey hit that point of too many beers, because some of the things he'd say were just whoa, But he was always good and lubricated by the 7th inning stretch, and that was always his. But he was that guy. But anyway, Will Ferrell, when he was on Saturday Night Live, used to do him, and he'd be like, "Let me hear you on Hey Everybody," and he's just over the top.
Okay.
So.
I've never seen that.
A generation of people that when you think of Harry Carey, they don't think of Harry Carey, the real Harry Carey. They think of the Will Ferrell version of Harry Carey. And so Caliendo kind of does that with John Madden. Most people, they get that version of John Madden. But the thing is, that's kind of John Madden. You do a characterization of John Madden, it's just John Madden,
Right.
Where Harry Carey is a little more affable, where, it's a little more over. He's not like that at all. But Madden, that was his. But I did watch the special that aired on Christmas Day. And but after watching it, I ain't gonna lie, that thing was like, and maybe it's just because I'm watching it after he passed away and it's putting that thought in my head. But watching it had a very final finale to it about like, is it John Madden? That's all you get. It was like the last chapter. So part of me in the back, deep down in the recesses of my brain, kind of wonders, like when John Madden, because he does have a part in the making of the All Madden. They interview him and he's watching film and clips and everything and talking during it. Part of me wonders, like after watching it, I'm just wondering if he's like, well, I'm done. That's my last hurrah, and gave up the fight. You know what I mean? They really didn't say I haven't heard what he passed away from. I heard unexpectedly. I mean, just when people get up in their 80s and 100, they just died. They're 100. That's what happens. But
I think we all assumed it was like heart attack.
Yeah, you don't know if it was a COVID or cancer or something going on there that they didn't talk about. You always hear about some folks, and you're like, they died of cancer. It's like, well, they're 95. It's like something's going to get you at that point. You're 95. You had a good run. That's the way I look at those kind of things. But in my own life too, it's like, hey. I'm a 90, it's what killed you. I'm 90. That's what killed me. Stuff happens when you get to be 90. You're just old. That's what it is.
Died from his popcorn popper.
Well, yeah. I hope
John
it's not like that.
Popcorn popper.
We got hit by a bus. Well, dang. You kind of, no, it should be something that the body said, we're done. It's, we've been fighting the good fight for a long time now. It's time to shut her down here. But yeah, I just after watching the Madden documentary, I was kind of like, this feels very like
it's almost like they knew.
Yeah, like you always wonder, like deep in the back of that person. I mean, you don't know. The only person who knows is that person. But you kind of wonder after, do you think in his head he's like, oh, there it is, my last hurrah. Everyone's sending me off. Time to go off to the sweet good night. And when people are sick. Like people I've seen it, people that are battling cancer and things, my own family, my father, my wife's father, my father. I mean, I've seen that you get to a point where you're just done fighting, and then when they say I'm done and you kind of surrender to it, turn to God, whatever you do in those final moments, people going through cancer and things hit that at some point, and I think it makes you wonder if, well, maybe this was Madden's, maybe, we don't know what was going on, at least I don't, medically there. And same with Betty White. Maybe, who knows what happened there. Of course, hers, you're kind of thinking, well, maybe she wanted to get to 100. But, I mean, I don't know. And then other things like, hey, just went to bed and didn't wake up the next day. It's what happens, you know.
Yeah, she was making appearances like a year ago or 2 years ago.
She was. Yeah, she was. I mean, like they kept playing the clip from when she was 85 on SNL. Like, I mean, because you've been inundated with clips of John Madden and Betty White all weekend. But yeah, I mean, the one they kept playing a lot was when she hosted Saturday Night Live when she was 85, which was, by the way, almost 15 years ago. Which, you know, to some of us seems like yesterday, but that was 15 years ago. It's, you know, kids are transitioning adult in that time, you know, in that point. But anyway,
but John Madden retired a long time ago, right?
As a coach, he retired at like 47 as a coach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he retired early from coaching in the big.
But he stopped announcing like a long time ago.
He retired announcing in the early 2000s. I'm thinking. He was an announcer for a long time. I mean, he started there in the early 80s, and he went to the 2000s.
Okay.
I'm going to say like 04, 05, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to go look it up. I don't know for sure.
Sounds about right.
I'm guessing in that ballpark somewhere around there is when he finally hung up his announcing mic and all that good stuff. But
yeah.
And I think he did it because he chose to do it, you know, because, I mean, he had a fear of flying. He flew when he was a coach because he had to. And then I think an incident happened on a plane. And he said, "That's it. I'm done." He started taking the train, and he was on Amtrak and all that, and he was taking trains all over the place to get to games and all that good stuff. And then, for some reason, and this is what I learned from the documentary. He rented a bus, a Greyhound bus, and apparently it was Dolly Parton's tour bus. And he's like, "I like this. Boom! I'm going to get me one." And then since then, he had the Madden Cruiser. And it was a Greyhound bus that he toured the country, driving around to his games and whatnot. And the Mag Cruiser come to town, and he was like celebrity number one. And then I think they got it sponsored by Outback Steakhouse at one time. And so towards the end there, for the last several years of his career as a broadcaster, he would be cruising around the country in that Outback Steakhouse Madden Cruiser. And then, of course, you know, that was kind of a thrill for folks. He'd show up into town for hit a rest stop to go get a bite to eat or whatever. And here's John Madden in the Madden Cruiser, and he'd shake hands and visit with everybody. And again, because that's what he does. And, every time he stopped, it was like an epic event, you know, to visit. Oh, John Madden's in town. He's getting a steak. Let's go see John Madden. He'd come and hang out and visit with people and stuff, then get on his bus and go on to his next stop.
Yeah, I didn't know any of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Matt, that's what Madden, he was a people's people, man. He just that's what I'm saying. He could get along with anybody. Like, we live in a world today where everyone's so at each other's throat, and he was the guy that cut through all of that. There was everybody, and I don't even care if you didn't like football. You talk with John Madden for 5 minutes, like, that's a likable dude. You know, he's just one of those people that he had a way of talking to people and interacting with people, and he did it probably better than anybody on the planet, my opinion. And I think that's why he's beloved so much, even by people that could care less about football. I mean, he crossed that boundary very easily. And it was all through football. That's just it. He didn't go, John Madden wasn't the guy that went out and said, "Oh, I'm popular. Guess what? I'm going to start, becoming a thespian. I'm going to act in." No, John Madden didn't do any of that stuff. He promoted hockey. You know, he was a pitchman's pitchman. I mean, during that time in the 80s and 90s there, if it was a John Madden commercial, people, because he had his light beer commercials for years, tough acting, Tinactin, boom.
Oh, yeah.
Foot powder. But, yeah, I mean, he was just the pitchman. He was that guy. But he didn't try to do things out of his element. You weren't going to see, starring John Madden, Gone with the Wind 2. That wouldn't happen. Nothing like that. But and it's so.
He wasn't on Twitter all the time.
Oh, well, there was none, but yeah, he didn't have to be. But I think that's where generations, that are younger that didn't really see John Madden at work per se. Till you see that, you don't understand how beloved John Madden was. He was just. That's why his passings affected so many people outside of football, because he was literally just one of the nice guys of the 80s and 90s. if you looked like if they did a people's just general good guy of the, John Madden would have been that guy every year because he was beloved by everybody. He just, and I think what you saw was what you got with him, and that's why he was beloved.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a fakey, it wasn't like celebrities trying to
He doesn't play games
seem
or-
cool or whatever. It's just John Madden being John Madden, and that was infectious. To have that guy in a room and for him to bring that energy and bring that just funness when you come in, it's. I mean, you look at even NFL players. I mean, and the documentary talks about this, but the Madden game, how it transformed that for athletes of the 90s and 2000s, that was a mantle for which to in the NFL. Oh, you got the Madden cover. You're one of Madden. That spoke something as respect in your craft. That John. I mean, granted, it's a football game, electronic football game that people buy and play, but because of that, what he created there, and obviously EA Sports and all of that, but what that created and what John Madden's ability to judge talent and work with talent and his love of coaching and teaching, that added that much more respect to that thing. So when Madden's saying you're worthy of being the cover, that's like. Like all Madden team, you could talk about Pro Bowls. People are like, yeah, Pro Bowl is one thing. I want to know what all Madden is. That's your true measuring stick of how good a player is, And I think like the NFL's top 100 they do now on NFL Network in the offseason, that's kind of to me a evolutionary. It's got its evolution in the John Madden All Madden team and all that kind of stuff. That's where he elicited that kind of respect. So I didn't meant to spend first half hour of the show talking about John Madden. It just kind of happened that way. But yeah, he's that one. I mean, I love Betty White. I love iconic. But to me, the bigger impact as far as life and people that not that I did not respect or one that I respect them both, but as far as someone who meant more to me as a person between the two, John Madden was. By far, he was much. I don't care what football game you were watching. When John Madden and Pat Summerall were calling that game, you're like, all right, it's going to be a good. They legit would dictate. All right, what's going to be? Like we talk about Joe Buck and Troy Aikman and all that. Now Madden and Summerall, they set that standard to me. I mean, yeah, they had some classic, Cosell and Meredith and all these others that called games. 60s, 70s, but to me, Madden was the true pioneer. He in my book is the godfather of sports broadcasting, football broadcasting, because to me he was the best in the planet in making the complicated simple, and that's another thing. If you look at he would explain football in lay terms to people. And so, we joke about all his drawings of people on the sidelines and shrimps on barbecues, but he revolutionized understanding. He's like, you see this guy, he's going to go here, and that's why, because of this. And people are like, oh, now I get football a little bit. You know what I mean? People that didn't play football or whatever, other than turn it on a Sunday afternoon and listen to John Madden talk about it, they didn't really follow football much. And so for him to really break that barrier and make complicated simple for the masses, that's you're beloved for that, and that's what he did. So it is 7:28. I have not taken any news, weather, commercials, or nothing. I've been talking about John Madden for the last 30 minutes. So let's do this. 7:28. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather. Not as cold as the weekend, but still cold. Here it is.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty nice for the next couple of days. We have high pressure overhead, and our temperatures will be on a little bit of a warming trend. 55 to 60 for the afternoon highs today, and sunshine. Overnight will be clear and cold with lows between 20 and 25. Then quite a warm up coming our way tomorrow with mid to upper 60s and lots of sun. Looks like we'll stay in the mid 60s and fair Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 20 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 65% with winds currently out of the northwest at 3 miles per hour. Sunny today. Highs in the mid-50s. 55 officially with west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. So pretty standard, nice, a little chilly, but not too bad. Tonight, clear skies, chilly overnight low of 21 expected. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. For you Tuesday, we're warming up tomorrow compared to today, especially sunny skies. Highs near 67 tomorrow. Winds will be out of the west 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, clear skies with an overnight low of 31. Winds will be out of the west 5 to 10 miles per hour. For you Wednesday, in the mid-60s, sunny 65. Winds out of the north 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, clear skies with an overnight low of 28. Thursday, sunny, back down in the low 50s, 52 for a high on Thursday. But it's short-lived because we're going to be back up in the mid-60s for Friday. And then warm for Saturday as well. 71 Saturday, back down to 60 for a high on Sunday. So a little roller coastery beginning Thursday. But even still, it is January, and Saturday we're expecting highs in around 70. So really overall, not a bad week of weather for the first work week of January here. So I'll take it. Not too bad. It is 7:30. Let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break. We'll be back on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Attention dart enthusiasts, shooters, or just plain old chuckers. B&B Newsstand in downtown Artesia is the only place for quality dart supplies and dart boards. Plus, find wacky adult gifts like novelty socks and cup towels, Candleberry candles, Zippo lighters, and so much more. Come in and browse all the cool stuff at B&B Newsstand. You won't be disappointed. Root beer floats, Coke floats, and the best fountain drinks in town can only be found at B&B Newsstand on the corner of Main and Roselawn in downtown Artesia. Open Monday through Friday from 11 to 7.
What does it mean to be a world-class university? To start, being ranked in the top 2% of universities in the world, and to be the only designated R1 highest research activity university in the state. It's about creating the most opportunities for students. And at the University of New Mexico, we do just that by offering affordable, top-tier education year after year and awarding millions in scholarships to our students. So, what are you waiting for? Apply to UNM at apply.unm.edu.
You may have heard of SmartHub. SmartHub is Central Valley Electric's online tool for members to manage their electric account. With SmartHub, not only can you securely pay your bill online, you can view your detailed electric use 24 hours a day. You can report an outage while staying up to date with the latest co-op news, compare past and current electric use. Sign up for paperless billing or reoccurring payment so that your payment is never late. The best thing is you can access SmartHub from your computer, tablet, or smartphone, so it goes everywhere you go. Visit cvecoop.org to get started or give us a call.
What does paying $10 a month for health insurance sound like? Yeah, kind of like that. Open enrollment is on now, and you may be able to get health insurance for $10 a month. And as New Mexico's health insurance marketplace, Be Well NM makes finding health insurance and signing up easy and affordable. And our services are free. Call us at 1-833-862-3935 or visit BeWellNM.com to get the assistance you need and to get insured. Because you just never know.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
Where can you find the best selection of beautiful and unique home decor in the region? Easy, Casa Decor in Ruidoso. For years, people from all over have come to Casa Decor for the best selection of rustic, real wood furniture, beautiful decor from the Southwest and beyond, and quality outdoor furniture and accessories that are built to last a lifetime. At Casa Decor, they have over 10,000 square feet of showroom for everything you need. Casa Decor opens 7 days a week from 9:30 to 5 at 1214 Meacham Drive in Ruidoso or online at casadecorruidoso.com. Proud supporter of local high school sports.
I am Sandra Stewart, Chaves County Assessor.
And I am Charlotte Andrade Gurley, Chaves County Treasurer.
2021 property tax bills will be late this year due to questions on the ballot for Elida, Dexter, and Lake Arthur school districts.
Property tax bills will be mailed out December 1st. The first half payment is due December 10th and delinquent after January 10th, 2022.
For any questions, please contact our offices.
Thank you.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 47.2% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Is this true? I'd say chances are about 50%. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:34. I don't know if I even gave the rundown earlier. So, like I said, we're going to chit-chat this hour. I'm not sure next hour. I wrote County Manager Bill Williams down. I know we had him on Friday, but I'm not sure if it was a scheduled thing or we booked him twice. So we may have done that. There might be reason to. I just don't remember. I've slept since then. So if Bill joins us, we'll have him. If not, I'm going to replay his interview we had on Friday. Talking about the final commission meeting of 2021 where they finalized redistricting and all that. So we will either play that or Bill will be here. I'm not sure which. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to replay an interview that Sean had on the 29th, the day I was supposed to be back, but planes did not. Well, planes worked fine. Everyone was quarantined for COVID, so all the flights got canceled. So I got back a day later. So, but he got a chance to talk with Bill Wolf. I'm sorry, Bill Williams is the other one. Bill Wolf from Big Brothers Big Sisters there. So we'll play that interview for you here in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15 or so. You know, one piece
Bill
of
Williams.
Bill Williams, yes. You know what? I did watch all of over the weekend. Cobra Kai season 4.
I just bought the seasons 1 through 3 on
Oh, did
DVD.
you?
I haven't watched it yet, but
Okay,
I'm
well,
excited.
season 4 just premiered on Netflix like Friday.
Yeah.
And so my wife and I watched them all. There's 10 episodes. So we watched, I think, 4 or 5 on Friday, and then the other 5 or 6 on Saturday. I like the show. I mean, it's not a good show overall as far as it's dumb.
I've heard good things about it.
Well, the concept of the show is dumb. And what I mean by that is it's so over the top. But if you think about it, it's no different than the Karate Kid movies.
Because it flips the situation.
Yeah, but just the scenarios over the top. Like if any of the things that happened in Cobra Kai, and pick one season, I don't care which one, 1, 2, 3, or 4, happened in real life, there would be like martial law in those communities. I mean, they got kids having full-on out rumbles in school, and they're just like, oh, yeah. I mean, no. That would have drawn the FBI if that would have happened in real life. You know what I'm saying? So for that aspect, I'm like, come on, man. I get you're trying to get me to believe things. It's a fantasy world. And, you know, it's make-believe. I get all that. But come on, if you're going to have a full-on rumble and not really realize that Homeland Security is not going to show up for something like that at this point, I mean, that's the part I'm like, come on. I mean, there's no way you're letting these kids and these 4 grown men act the way they are without someone being in jail. This is just dumb.
Is that over the top?
Yeah. You're like, I get it. It's karate and pains of the week, blah, 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 and all that stuff. But, I mean, they're just doing criminal acts here. I mean, there's like felony charges running around this thing. You know what I mean? And no one's even... One adult in this place is like, hey, maybe you don't realize you're going to jail for that assault. You just can't do that to people. You know? I mean, and I get it.
It still has that 90s mentality where...
Yeah, I get it.
There was no
and I understand
FBI.
I love it. Yeah, I get, you know, I watched the 80s movies and Roadhouse and all that. And like, yeah, everybody fights everybody. But this is kids. Yeah. And you're like, okay, wait, these are high school age kids, and you're doing Patrick Swayze Roadhouse with high school age kids. It's a bit weird. But that being said, I'm hooked. I love it. I as far as just watched it and just, you know, rooting for good guys and bad guys and fighting and all that. Yeah, it's great. Mm-hmm. And I like, you know, and I am, because I grew up watching it. I'm a fan of the Daniel LaRusso and Johnny back and forth, and and Kreese, and now they brought in. You have to be really a fan of the Karate Kid movies to like. If you don't like the movies, you're not going to like Cobra Kai. You're just not. And I don't know why you'd even watch them if you don't like the Karate Kid movies.
Right.
That's first off. People that sit there and say, these are dumb, I don't like, but Karate Kid stunk too. I'm like, then why are you watching it? You know what? I don't like Teletubbies. They creep me out. If they make a Teletubby movie, I'm not going to watch it thinking, you know what, maybe the Teletubbies are going to be good now. No, I'm not. I'm just out. So that's on you. If you hate Karate Kid movies and you start watching this and then you poo-poo all over it, that's on you because you didn't like it going in. So that's on you.
I used to think the Karate Kid was sort of a B movie, and then I go back and watch it.
Oh, no, it's a blockbuster.
It's actually like a solid movie.
Yeah, it's a blockbuster movie. It came out like the movies that you like. Take your Marvel, Thor's. Karate Kid, I mean, yeah, the box office numbers weren't like that, but because money wasn't being made on movies like they were now, they weren't doing $100 billion movies back then. I mean, they had movie did $100 million, then they're like, oh, Jurassic Park. You know what I mean? It's just, it was a block. But those Karate Kid movies, Ghostbusters, the first we were talking about Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters, it was a hit for weeks. That thing was in movie theaters for like 6 months. It was so popular because movies, they would, like, if it had a good run, they'd keep it in theaters longer.
Yeah.
So that was kind of what they did. So Ghostbusters, it came out kind of like, we'll put it out there, see what happens. And then all of a sudden, it was number one first week, second week. The thing with 12, 13, 14, 15 weeks in a row, it's the number one movie in the country at the box office. Karate Kid was the same kind of way. So these movies that you look at now and watch is like, oh, an old movie is. These were blockbuster movies back when we were kids. These were your Avengers. These were your Captain America. That's what superhero movies weren't a thing back. If a superhero movie came out, I mean, you look at them. We had Superman with Christopher Reeves. That was like our version of those movies back in the day, and they weren't the mega blockbusters that they like. That movie, it was a hit. The Superman. I mean, they made 3 of them. It was a hit, but in terms of drawing the numbers and the lexicon that the Marvel stuff is and all that, no, not nearly. I mean, the marketing game was a little like that. Like, they were partnering with fast food companies and things at that point. So, yes, you could get like a Ghostbusters collectible glass at McDonald's or something like that. But it wasn't like tying in like today and all that stuff. It was, or product placement back in the movie. That was unheard of back then. Coca-Cola ain't paying Ghostbusters because the guy's drinking a Coke, in the movie. You know what I mean? And now that's all, hold the labels, or let's put a 6-pack in the background behind his, you know what I mean? That's commonplace now. That wasn't back then.
Yeah, my dad would tell me that, like, when he was younger, then The Godfather would be on the theaters for like months, like you said, 6 months.
Yeah, it would, because that's because we didn't have rewatchability.
Or Jaws,
we didn't have the rewatchability that you have nowadays. We couldn't go rent the movie. I mean, you could in the 80s era,
right.
But early you couldn't rent. 70s, early 80s, it was, once the movie was there, it's kind of there. It's gone to perpetuity there. It just they would re-release it maybe. All right, 10 years later, we're going to re-release The Godfather, so you can go to the movie theater and watch The Godfather again. At Star Wars, they did the same thing. I remember in the 90s. They re-released the original Star Wars. The ones that came out in the 70s. I'm going to say like 96 or 90, around that time.
Yeah, that's when I actually saw the first Star Wars when I was really little.
They put them back in the theaters. Yeah, that's not unheard of. That was something they did. And I think part of that, they re-released that because they were trying to get the bad taste of the Jar Jar Binks out of people's mouths back then. They were like, that came a little later, but it was just... that movie almost single-handedly destroyed Star, because it just alienated all the Star Wars fans. They're like, you gave us this, what they consider a masterpiece. It ain't, but that's what they consider it. That I just upset a bunch of Star Wars fans. Yes, they're not masterpieces. Those original 3, they're horribly acted. Watch George Lucas. He can create a world. He can't write scripts. The dialogue and
you mean all 3 prequels, or
yes. The dialogue in those Star Wars movies is god awful. What? Just go take all the. Take all the sword fighting, the lasers, the storm. Take all that out and just listen to the dialogue between the characters. It's awful. The acting's not. The dialogue is just bad. It's not good. But what makes up for it is you just created a whole world that no one's ever seen before, and so you're enamored of that. But to be honest, the interaction, the dialogue, and the sisters and lovers, that's all bad. That's horribly written.
I think it's held up a little bit, though, because a lot of people have nostalgia for
That's exactly the case. Yeah. I mean, and I don't get me wrong, I love Star Wars movies.
People love quoting those movies.
Yeah, I love the stories. I love it's fun movie to watch. I enjoy the heck out of them. But if you're looking for cinematic quality, as far as it ain't it. That's not it. It's just popular. It's just good and popular. It's entertaining. But as far as, hard, if you take Schindler's List and the dialogue there and the way it's written, and I'm not talking even the subject matter. I'm just talking how it's written, how the actors portray all that. That's where George Lucas isn't his strength. That's why if you partners with a Spielberg guy, let Spielberg do all that. Let George Lucas create the universe, because that's where he's good.
Yeah.
And but yeah, if you look at a work of a story, the Star Wars dialogue is god awful. It's just bad.
Now, in my opinion, I think the new sequel movies make the prequels look like masterpieces. I think.
Well, yes and no. I would agree with you to a point, but I would also say they have a lot more to work with, because George Lucas created a whole world universe for them. Now they get the people that can actually write stories and that's why you look at like Favreau, and he, now they just did the new book of Boba Fett, which I haven't started watching yet. I'm going to get to it. I don't know. I know they usually release those an episode at a time, so I'm going to let that one get fat for a minute and get 4 or 5 episodes under there before I go watch it, kind of like I do with the other ones. But you look at Mandalorian, you look at I would say the 3 Star Wars movies. The second one was the worst Star Wars movie ever written. That second to last Star Wars,
the Last Jedi,
the one with the floating Princess Leia and all that.
Yeah,
that one is that makes Jar Jar Binks look good, in my opinion. That movie is just the worst piece of Shrek ever.
Because they rely on the. Like you said, they have
story.
People who can write stories, but instead of writing new stories, they rely on the past stuff.
I don't know why they were trying to keep people alive longer than they should have. It just was a bad story. It was a bad story. And I know that one was rife with problems at the time they were making it. I think somebody quit and directors or stuff. It showed in the product there to me. But and to be honest, the last one could have been a whole lot better, but it wasn't, because that one before was such a turd that they had to spend half that movie cleaning up the first mess. You know what I mean? Like the part that ticks me off, and this is a George Lucas-y type move, is that smoke guy that they make such a bad character in the first couple of movies. When spoiler if you haven't seen the third one, he's gone with like 10 minutes of the movie. The third movie, you're like, what happened? This guy's the big dude, and he's like,
well, he's gone by the second movie.
Yeah, he's gone quick, and you're like, dude, what happened? That didn't last, and I don't know, and stuff like that kind of just ticks me off. But anyway, I got way off.
Or like
Star
how they
Wars.
treated Luke Skywalker in those sequels, like with such disrespect for.
That made me mad, because as a guy that watched the original ones, why that makes us mad is because we watched those first 3 movies, and Luke Skywalker's our hero in all of them.
Yeah.
But we never see Luke at full Luke. It's always Luke learning to be a Jedi. Luke still in training to be a Jedi. Luke, he cheated it. He's kind of Jedi, but he's not really full Jedi because he hasn't finished his training. So we never get full. And so
we never get Grandmaster Luke.
Yeah, and then we get him, and he's an old fart by himself on a mountain, and he does nothing.
Yeah.
And then for the time for him to get in a big fight, I'm going to hang out here virtually, and I'm going to virtually fight. Really?
Yeah.
Come on. No. And so, to be honest, that's why I love The Mandalorian so much. Have you seen all the Mandalorians?
I haven't.
Okay. Well, for old school Star Wars fans who have not watched Mandalorian yet, if you're the one waiting for Luke Skywalker as a full-on whooping butt Jedi, they pay you off on that in the finale of Mandalorian.
Okay.
Not to spoil alert Mandalorian, but I just kind of did. Luke Skywalker kicks butt in the finale of Mandalorian. Now, granted, it's not Mark Hamill. It's a guy that looks like Mark Hamill because Mark Hamill can't do the stuff that Mark Hamill could have maybe done when he was 18 or 25 or whenever the Star Wars came out. But we finally see Luke in his prime doing Luke things and doing Jedi stuff. And it was, all the Yoda swirling. We got to see Luke do that. You're like, finally. We've been waiting. You've been telling this guy's the one, the greatest ever. We ain't seen him do nothing. I've seen Yoda spin around and flip around that little green thing. I ain't seen this grown man who's supposed to be the best of the best do nothing. So, anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone's already been... that scene has already been, like, on YouTube, spread on YouTube. I'm sure everyone's seen it, like, accidentally been spoiled on it already.
And people that don't like... I as soon as that happened, Mandalorian for me went up 10 cool points. I like Mandalorian; it was good, but because I finally said, finally, I'm getting something I wanted to see 20 years ago. I want to see Luke Skywalker be this ultimate bad Jedi, awesome dude that everyone keeps talking about. Because so far, I ain't seen it. I've seen him walk around wearing cool cloaks and talk softly, carry a big stick, occasionally whip it out and fight normal. But I ain't seen him do Jedi stuff, like real legit like not garden variety Jedi stuff. I'm talking next level. Why he's so tough Jedi one, So,
yeah.
Anyway, probably should play some news and stuff so we have time before the hour ends. It is 7:50. Let's go ahead and get you up to date with news. Your Kim Commando update, Chaves County Sports update, and a quick break as well. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Good news for the city of Roswell as Joe Bauman Stadium has been chosen to be the New Mexico site for Major League Baseball's list of baseball road trip locations. The stadium in southern Roswell is located on East Poe Street. It's named for the late minor league slugger who played there and hit 72 home runs for the Roswell Rockets in 1954. That number set a professional baseball single-season record that stood for decades. Today, Joe Bauman Stadium is home to the minor league Roswell Invaders. With the arrival of the new year, new laws are taking effect in New Mexico, aiming to bolster access to health insurance while eliminating many court fines against juveniles that are viewed as counterproductive. One bill approved by Governor Grisham and the state's Democrat-led legislature adds a 2.75% surtax on health insurance premiums, the upfront payments made on behalf of an individual or family to keep their insurance active. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Without a doubt, 2022 is going to be an exciting year for tech. I'm Kim Commando with my annual predictions brought to you by ExpressVPN. Secure your online data and get an extra 3 months free at expressvpn.com/Kim. Let's start with electric vehicles. By the end of 2022, over 100 different EVs will be available. The best news, prices are coming down and making them more affordable. Also on wheels, look for more home robots designed to help the elderly next year. These prices will remain high, in the $1,000 range. Then there's Facebook, now Meta. They're going to release a new VR headset in hopes that more people will create avatars to live in its digital world. But they're not going to be alone. Apple will finally release its own headset, and look for Google to get in the game too, even after their Google Glass failed. Finally, the folks in Washington, D.C. will wake up and pressure social media to actually protect our children. It's going to be a ride. I'll cover it all at Commando.com. That's Komando.com. Winter can put a freeze on your finances with expensive car repairs. You don't want to get stuck with a broken heater or having your car break down. That's why I have CarShield. Taking care of a covered repair with CarShield is easy. They handle the paperwork and expensive payments so you don't have to. Seriously, CarShield could help you save thousands. I chose the mechanic to do the work, and CarShield takes care of the rest. CarShield plans even provide coast-to-coast roadside assistance, rental coverage, and trip reimbursement, all at no additional charge. Whether your car has 5,000 miles or 150,000 miles, CarShield has monthly coverage options to fit your budget. That's why CarShield is your best defense against costly repairs that could put a deep freeze on your plans and finances. CarShield has helped over 1 million drivers, and they can help you too. Visit carshield.com/Kim to save 10%. That's carshield.com/Kim. A deductible may apply. That's carshield.com/Kim.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty nice for the next couple of days. We have high pressure overhead, and our temperatures will be on a little bit of a warming trend. 55 to 60 for the afternoon highs today, and sunshine. Overnight will be clear and cold with lows between 20 and 25. Then quite a warm up coming our way tomorrow with mid to upper 60s and lots of sun. Looks like we'll stay in the mid 60s and fair Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your latest forecast.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Let's check in with the small schools who take longer breaks than the big schools over the holidays. Don't play as in those big school tournaments, so they're anxious to get back onto the hardwood. I would assume that's true for Dexter and Hagerman. The boys and girls will be playing each other in a boys-girls doubleheader tonight in Hagerman. The girls for Dexter have played a limited schedule. They're only 2-2. Part of their slate did include a victory at Lovington, so that was a good one. Hagerman is 4-6 overall on the girls' side. Now on the boys' side, the Hagerman boys are doing really good, 7-0. They'll be hosting, of course, Dexter tonight. Dexter is 1-5. Gateway Christian is playing a boys-girls doubleheader on Tuesday. That's against Cloudcroft at home. The girls are 7-1. The boys 1-7. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell Talk FM 106.5.
With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander. U.S. Airlines are asking the Federal Communications Commission to delay next week's scheduled rollout of new 5G wireless service near dozens of major airports, saying it could interfere with electronics that pilots rely on. Airlines for America, a trade group for large U.S. passenger and cargo carriers, said in an emergency filing that the FCC has failed to adequately consider the harm that 5G service could do to the industry. The U.S. Postal Service and several other private shippers reported that holiday season deliveries went smoothly for the most part. ShipMatrix, which analyzes shipping package data, reported that 96.9% of the Postal Service's shipments were on time during a 2-week period in December. Overall, it was a major improvement across the board compared with last year. On Wall Street, the Dow down 59 points, the Nasdaq down 96, and the S&P 500 fell 12 points. With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Having trouble keeping up with the conversation? Here on Earth Hearing Center can help. Here on Earth is locally owned and operated and have been serving Southeast New Mexico since 1955. Let their experience help you with a free hearing assessment. If you do need a hearing device, they will guide you through every step of the process. They accept all types of insurance, including Medicaid, and all of their devices are made right here in the USA. Call and schedule your appointment today, 575-622-0375, or come by 2800 North Main, Suite 2, across from Target in Roswell. Here on Earth Hearing Center, get back in the conversation.
Ring in the new year with Greyhound Basketball. The Greyhound men's and women's basketball teams are home Thursday, January 6, 5 and 7:30 p.m. versus Oklahoma Christian, and Saturday, January 8th at 2 and 4 p.m. versus Arkansas Fort Smith. Don't miss out on every dunk, fast break, and three-pointer as the Greyhounds welcome in the new year. Tickets are only $5 for adults. Kids 8 and under are free. Eastern New Mexico University basketball, all in.
This is John.
Hey, my name is John Jackson.
He's not some actor. He's a steward of the land with a John Deere 3 Series tractor and a PTO Quick Connect that hooks up rear implements with a single click. John runs with us because to him, there's nothing more important than connecting with the land. Nothing runs like a Deere. Hear John's story at Deere.com.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job, plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. talk to your local recruiter or visit NationalGuard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard, aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Did you know you share your birthday with at least 9 million other people in the world? Your birthday isn't feeling so special now, is it? Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 8 o'clock. Stay tuned next hour. We're going to have Bill Williams, county manager of some kind, either in person or a replay. I'm not sure how that's going to work. We'll figure it out. But that's coming up next hour. Town Hall News is coming up next, and we'll be back on that other side of Town Hall News. Do not go away, please. Or don't. Take it polite or take it forceful. Whatever works to you better. But come back to us. We'll see you on the other side. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Town Hall News next. We'll be back. Do not go away.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jeremy House. A winter storm is blowing into the nation's capital, closing government offices and schools. National Weather Service meteorologist David Roth says the winter storm will hit some states on the East Coast harder than others.
Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware, and southern New Jersey, there could be snow totals of 2 inches an hour at times, and we can't rule out thundersnow.
Fierce winds with as much as 10 inches of snow is forecast for the nation's capital, Northern Virginia, and Central Maryland. Louisville, Colorado resident Barbara Hickman says minutes after she, her husband, and their dog evacuated their home because of last week's massive wildfire, they learned that evacuations in their neighborhood were mandatory.
Within 5 minutes, our neighbors called and said the fire department was coming down, telling everybody to get out. And it wasn't much longer than that our son called and saw news coverage up the hill, and he could see that there were flames on our roof.
People who escaped the flames have begun sorting through the charred remnants of their homes to see what was left. President Biden is meeting virtually with independent farmers and ranchers. Mr. Biden today is discussing initiatives with them to reduce food prices by increasing competition within the meat industry. The White House event is part of a broader effort to show the administration is trying to combat inflation. An official with the International Coalition in Iraq says 2 armed drones have been shot down at the Baghdad airport. There were no reports of damage or injuries. Monday's attack coincides with the anniversary of the 2020 U.S. airstrike that killed a top Iranian general at the Baghdad airport. On Wall Street, the Dow is up almost 60 points. The NASDAQ is ahead by 52. More on these stories at townhall.com.
So I invested in one of those fancy new exercise bikes. Without a doubt, a very special tool to help me get healthier. The problem is 3 days go by, then 4, and I've done nothing. And then it's night 5, and I'm sitting at the kitchen table, and I look down at myself, and I can't help but just laugh. Because there I am, wearing the exercise t-shirt that came with the bike, and I'm eating 2 corn dogs. And I think we'd all agree, the special tool only matters if we use it to our benefit. At United Faith Mortgage, we believe we have an advantageous tool for you. Our mortgage team is an arm of a bigger company who is a direct lender, which means our company gets to use its own money and make its own decisions. There's no middleman. And often, this allows us to get you a better rate on your refinance or new home purchase, which can save you monthly and lifelong money. We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
The jury weighing fraud charges against former Theranos CEO Elizabeth Holmes gets back to work today.
It's the 7th day of deliberations in the trial, which began in September, and jurors have given little clues as to where they stand. Holmes had promised to revolutionize blood tests with just a finger prick and raise nearly $1 billion from investors, but prosecutors accused the 36-year-old of fraud, intentionally deceiving them with a product that did not do what she promised. Her defense, she believed her own claims and blames others, including an ex-boyfriend who founded Theranos with her. Holmes faces up to 20 years in prison if convicted. I'm Julie Walker.
Quebec is proceeding with the first of 3 planned closures of non-essential retail stores as the provincial government tried to curb a new wave of COVID-19 driven by the highly infectious Omicron variant.
News and analysis at townhall.com. Analysts say inflation isn't going away anytime soon.
Economists looking ahead as we start this new year predict that the inflation rate that stunned Americans in 2021 is likely to also be the biggest challenge in 2022. With both economic and political implications, the midterm elections, which traditionally go against the party that controls the White House, look even murkier if the spending power of Americans continues to erode due to uncontrolled inflation and congressional spending. Keith Peters reporting.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says he's tested positive for COVID-19 and is experiencing mild symptoms while quarantining at home. In a statement last night, Austin says he plans to attend key meetings and discussions virtually in the coming week, quote, to the best degree possible. Austin says he was fully vaccinated and received a booster a few months ago. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2. The Deuce. I'll do it. I'll let Roy come in. He's got to do the Deuce.
The Deuce.
There it is. Roy got it. The Deuce of Mornings with Mike Winters. Right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy New Year. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to your first Monday of 2022. Hope you're up and at 'em at this point. Kids going off to school. You're getting ready or heading to work or at work at this point. And once you get that done, the hard part is starting. It's getting out of bed, turning on the shower, doing all that. Once you get that down, it's all downhill from there. You got it. Once you get up and going. So, Happy New Year to everybody. Hope it's a great one for you. We're going to play some Bill Williams for you this hour. I'm not sure if he's going to come in. I'll give him a few minutes. I don't think so. I think it was a scheduling thing. We picked one, and I wrote it down. I'm thinking. I don't know. But I got him on here at 8:15, so we'll see if he comes by. If not, I'm going to replay his interview from Friday talking about the redistricting, the commission meeting, and all that good stuff. So we'll play that. But I got him down twice, and I think there's a reason. He was coming in to do something else, and I forget to remember what that was. But anyway, we'll have him either way. I slept since then. Had a weekend off, and I've been watching TV, and my brain's elsewhere. I've forgotten what happened there. But anyway, we may have Bill in. If not, we'll play that replay. So that's what we got on tap for this hour of the show. So the point is, I saw the final season of the fourth season of Cobra Kai, and then I got talking about Star Wars, and it got all. If you like the first 3 seasons, it's good. It's it's aligning sides. What they did in this season, which I knew it was going to happen. The villain from Karate Kid 3, Silver. I can't remember his first name. Silver was his last name.
Yeah.
Got the ponytail. Have you seen Karate Kid 3?
No.
Oh.
I thought those were all like non-canon besides the first one.
Well, 1 and 2 and 3. Anything after that, they kind of is more canon.
How many did they make? Besides the Willis,
with Ralph
Jaden
Macchio,
Smith.
with Ralph Macchio, there was 3.
Oh, okay.
There was a 4th one with Mr. Miyagi and a girl. The next Karate Kid.
Yeah.
It was Mr. Miyagi and was it Hilary Swank? I want to say it was Hilary Swank. That was the next Karate Kid, and then the Jalen Smith Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Which was with Jackie Chan and all that.
Yeah, which is like about kung fu, not karate.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Jackie Chan, like you were talking about Roy and I were talking about the movie The Matrix on the off air there.
Yes.
Which, by the way, I've not seen the new Matrix that's on HBO Max.
Me neither.
But I've heard nothing but bad things about it. Like, I have not heard one good thing about that. I'm going to watch it eventually, but I haven't. But we were talking about The Matrix and the first one set up. I would also argue that movie destroyed guys like Jackie Chan.
First one.
Yeah, the first Matrix basically ended the careers of guys like Jackie Chan, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bruce Lee types.
Because anyone can do that now.
Exactly. The CGI now makes anybody. Now we're seeing Keanu Reeves spinning around like Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan didn't need no CGI. You go watch Rumble in the Bronx or any of those movies. There's not one stitch of CGI in there. That's all Jackie Chan spinning that fast and doing all those things, and that's why those guys are so much more. They ain't gonna win Oscars for their acting skills, but.
Have you seen the stuff like that they've done back in those movies?
Yeah,
like
that's the thing is Rumble in the Bronx.
They put their lives in danger.
Rumble in the Bronx is the perfect example because during the closing credits of Rumble in the Bronx, all of the outtakes of Jackie Chan trying to do these moves is what's happening, and he's and he gets like sent to the hospital hurt in a couple of them. It's that one where he's hanging off helicopters, and that's him doing that stuff. That's Jackie Chan. That ain't some guy that they drew in later.
Yeah.
You know, that was Jackie Chan, and same with Bruce Lee, even Jean-Claude Van Damme to a point. He's not full on level of Jackie Chan, but some of those stunts and things, that's him. You know, like that shtick where he was doing his spread eagle thing between the two trucks and all that. That's him doing that.
Is that a hard target or?
That was for a commercial, but yeah, he did every one of Jean-Claude Van Damme's movies.
Okay,
that splits move is his move
because that's a John Woo film with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, but I would argue the Matrix kind of put a shelf life on those guys because now they're like, well, we don't need to pay that guy to do that. I'll just stick Keanu Reeves in there and make CGI make him do all that stuff, you know, and that's. Now, granted, Keanu Reeves has to be in shape and has to, you know, he's proficient with guns and all that kind of stuff, and he could probably kick and all that, but he ain't spinning around 50 times and stuff like Jackie Chan actually could. I mean, not to the ridiculousness that, you know, that you see on The Matrix, but everything was real. So, but anyway,
a lot of the Matrix,
finishing that conversation.
A lot of the Matrix action stuff is practical. Like, it's just them on wires.
Yeah,
you know, it's just like the stuff where they're running on the walls and stuff like that.
Yeah, but there was no wires with Jackie Chan. He was running up walls and doing those things. That's
right.
The parkour like stuff, you know, like parkour people can thank guys like Jackie Chan. Like those people got that idea from watching guys like Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee, and those guys do their thing. But anyway, I just want to put a button on that and wrap it up. We're moving on now from movies. Although I will go see The Matrix, the fourth Matrix or whatever they're up to now, the latest Matrix. I'll go watch it. I'm sure it's not going to, but if I go in with lowered expectations like I have right now, maybe I'll go in and be like, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. But I've like every comment I've read, they just eviscerated. It's either boring, confusing, destroy the storyline. I've heard all of these things. I've not heard one person say, no, I was entertained. The best I've heard was, it wasn't that bad. That's the best I've heard about that movie. And I'm like, if that's the best you've heard, that's not good. It wasn't that bad. But I haven't seen it for myself, so I can't qualify any of that stuff. It is 13 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty nice for the next couple of days. We have high pressure overhead and our temperatures will be on a little bit of a warming trend. 55 to 60 for the afternoon highs today and sunshine. Overnight will be clear and cold with lows between 20 and 25. Then quite a warm up coming our way tomorrow with mid to upper 60s and lots of sun. Looks like we'll stay in the mid 60s and fair Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, a balmy 23 here in Roswell. Humidity is at 63% with winds out of the northwest at 3 miles per hour. As Steve mentioned, sunny today, highs in the mid-50s, 55 officially, according to the National Weather Service. Winds out of the west today, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, chilly, mostly clear with an overnight low of 21 degrees. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Things warm up for you Tuesday. Sunny skies in the upper 60s tomorrow, 67, what they're calling for a high tomorrow. Winds will be out of the west, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, mostly clear, closer to freezing, 31 for an overnight low. Tomorrow night, west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mid-60s and sunny for your Wednesday, sunny and 65 with north winds 5 to 10. Mostly clear, overnight low of 28 Wednesday night. For you Thursday, cooler, highs only in the low 50s, sunny 52. But then we warm right back up Friday into the mid-60s again, sunny skies 65. Saturday, we're going to bust into the 70s, it looks like, 71 and sunny. And then mostly sunny highs back right around 60 for Sunday. So a little roller coastery for the back half of the week there with 50s, then mid-60s, 70s, and back down to 60 again. But not too bad week-wise as far as temperatures and weather for this week. All right, it is 8:15. Let's go ahead and take about a 3-minute, 15-second commercial break here. And then on the other side, we're going to play our interview we had Friday with Chavez County Manager Bill Williams talking about the redistricting commission meeting they had there. Got it all lined out now and ready to go here for the next election cycle. So that interview coming up next. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Having trouble keeping up with the conversation? Here on Earth Hearing Center can help. Here on Earth is locally owned and operated and have been serving Southeast New Mexico since 1955. Let their experience help you with a free hearing assessment. If you do need a hearing device, they will guide you through every step of the process. They accept all types of insurance, including Medicaid, and all of their devices are made right here in the USA. Call and schedule your appointment today, 575-622-0375, or come by 2800 North Main, Suite 2, across from Target in Roswell. Here on Earth Hearing Center, get back in the conversation.
What does paying 33 cents a day for health insurance sound like? Yeah, kind of like that. Open enrollment is on now, and you may be able to get health insurance for 33 cents a day. And as New Mexico's health insurance marketplace, BWellNM makes finding health insurance and signing up easy and affordable. And our services are free. Call us at 1-833-862-3935 or visit BWellNM.com to get the assistance you need and to get insured. Because you just never know.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed, antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
Good morning, honey. Hey, I have to pick up the kids from school this afternoon. Can you call...
A home invasion can happen anytime, even when you're at home. Protect your home and the ones you love with whole home security from Zenith Security. The security experts at Zenith Security can monitor your whole home 24/7. So they're ready whether you're there or not. Call Zenith Security Services LLC at 626-3521. That's 626-3521 and get whole home security with Zenith Security Services LLC.
This is John.
Hey, my name is John Jackson.
He's not some actor. He's a steward of the land with a John Deere 3 Series tractor and a PTO Quick Connect that hooks up rear implements with a single click. John runs with us because to him, there's nothing more important than connecting with the land. Nothing runs like a deer. Hear John's story at deer.com.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
I am Sandra Stewart, Chaves County Assessor.
And I'm Charlotte Andrade Gurley, Chaves County Treasurer.
2021 property tax bills will be late this year due to questions on the ballot for Elida, Dexter, and Lake Arthur school districts.
Property tax bills will be mailed out December 1st. The first half payment is due December 10th and delinquent after January 10th, 2022.
For any questions, please contact our offices.
Thank you.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. There are 293 ways to make change for $1. Try all 293 on the guy who keeps borrowing money from you. Here's Mike Winters.
It is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Chaves County Manager Bill Williams back with us. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning.
How are you doing? Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'm doing real well, and I'm happy to announce that I've made enough money this year that I can comfortably live till the end of this year.
Awesome.
So
you got the you're living high on
just
the hog.
in time.
Another the next 20 hours.
Closer by 5 o'clock. Maybe I will have made enough to make it through to the end of the year.
Sweat until about dinner, and then it's game on.
Got it made.
Well, I think always, set bars. I don't care if they're low bars, high bars. You never set a bar too high, because then if you set it low, and then you're going to be, happy all the time.
Under promise, over deliver.
Exactly. You set the bar too high, and you're going to disappoint yourself. Little bites.
Absolutely.
Well, I think it is fair to say that the county commission put 2021 a neat little bow on it yesterday with the redistricting and everything.
We did. So. Normally, we have our county commission meeting the third Thursday of the month, and we had one the third Thursday of the month. Unfortunately, we had to have a special meeting. We had a couple of unresolved issues. One of them we had on our agenda last time as an emergency resolution that needed to be done because it was time sensitive. But then when we decided to have a special commission meeting later in the month, and we removed that from the agenda because at that point it was no longer met the requirements for emergency, and we advertised it like we would a
regular meeting,
a regular special meeting.
I know it sounds semantics, but it's how it's all part of transparency, and any governing body has to have criteria as far as announcing when they meet and whether it's a scheduled regular meeting or an emergency meeting or unplanned meeting. There's got to be a public notice for any of that stuff.
And elected officials, they can't meet in force, somewhere in the community because that's a quorum, and they can't call each other and, hey, how are you going to do this next week? They can't do that. That's a rolling quorum. There's so many rules and regulations to make sure that they follow.
Now, on many levels and nationally included, does that happen? Yeah, sure. Come on.
Wow.
How many stories have you heard of dealings getting done in saunas on Capitol Hill?
In Capitol Hill, nothing surprises me there.
Yeah, exactly. So, that may be the way of the world in some places.
But we live in a small community, and sometimes there's an event, and we have 5 commissioners, so 3 is a quorum. So if you have 3 or more, somewhere they have to stay separated.
Yeah.
So if you'll ever notice, if you see a large event in Chaves County and there happen to be, say, 4 county commissioners, there won't be more than 2 sitting together. They'll be across the room.
Like if they go to all to a restaurant and have breakfast, like 2 at one table, 2 sitting over at another table over here.
They can point and laugh, but they can't actually have any conversation.
How's your eggs, Dana? Good.
That's it.
Very good. But no, they did officially meet in yesterday.
Yes, and the reason they had to meet is we had until January. Well, actually, we have until December 31st today, by close of business, I guess, to have a redistricting plan in place. And we had several plans to choose from. We had 7 in total.
Okay.
And of course, I guess you can manipulate the data and the precincts and everything, and probably have 1,000 if you wanted.
Sure.
But we had a demographer, New Mexico Demographics Research. And that's Rod Adair, who's former state senator.
Obviously, a staple in southeast New Mexico and well known by many.
Yes, and actually, I worked for his dad on horse farm. I'd clean horse pens during the day, and on weekends get to work the roping. So there's a long history there of the Adares and in Chaves County. And in fact, his dad was a county commissioner back in the, I would say, early 90s. I don't recall exactly when he was a commissioner, but anyway, Rod Adair has deep roots here. Mm-hmm. He understands what we need to do, and he came up with 7 different plans. He and his assistant, Bobby Shearer, they did a real good job providing plans. And it's not just you just draw new lines. It has to fit a very specific.
There's a lot of criteria that has to, numbers that they got to balance and juggle.
Right. And there's the New Mexico Redistricting Act. They have to follow certain criteria. You have to be within the ideal population, less than a 5% deviation of the ideal population for each of the districts. In Chaves County, and they do this every 10 years after the census, because obviously the population could change. That's or people move from the north side of town to the south side of town or down to the valley.
That's when all the stats shift. Yeah.
So statistics shift, and they have to make sure that they adjust everything accordingly. Mm-hmm. The ideal number, if you ever need to know this, is 13,031 people per county commission district.
That's the magic number.
That's the magic number, and we have to stay within a 5% deviation of that, which they managed to accomplish.
Okay.
And
that seems like unlucky, 13,000. Like maybe we need to either bump that up or down or something. Let's get it 14 or 12. I don't care which.
Yeah. Are you going to have some kids or something to
I'll work
help
on that this week and see if we can do that.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
Oh, we all need to work on that, either less or more in your family. Let's see if we can move that needle a little bit. Maybe up, that way we can get more money for other things.
Well, we're hoping our kids have some kids, but unfortunately they don't live in Chaves County.
We got to move them back.
Let's get them back over here. I'm all for that. I know my wife is, so definitely ready for that.
Well, now, because now y'all can be, full-time grandparents to your full time, not
Yeah.
You send, they come to your house, you load them up with sugar, have fun, and then send them home.
Send them home, let them bounce off their walls,
and then all that karma your kids did on you returns tenfold to them.
Exactly. No, I was pretty fortunate. My kids were much better than I was, so very happy about that. Now we have a lot of things that we have to do along with the redistricting. So each of the maps that came in, we published them both online. And we printed big maps and hung them in the rotunda. I don't know if you've been down there since we did that. There's maps all over the place showing each of the different districts and the fine lines. We show it blown up or zoom out so you can see the whole county and where the districts are. And then you zoom into particular areas and show District 1 goes to this street, then curves this way, goes up this way.
Nuts and bolts of where those lines are.
Follows the South Spring River. There's all kinds of weird boundaries.
Turn your head left and you're in District 2, but turn your head right, you're in District 4.
Yeah. It's been really interesting to see how they do that, and we do that for transparency. And in fact, we had 4 separate meetings. We had each meeting we had public input and involvement so that we knew how people felt about it, so the commissioners knew how people felt about it before they made any decisions. We had meetings. I'm trying to look at my notes here so I can remember. We had our first meeting on November the 9th, then we had one on November the 18th, December the 16th, and then we ended up having to come back on December the 30th to make sure we did it. And each one of those times we had public involvement. So it's just been an interesting process. I've never been involved in this before. I've never been this close to a political.
Yeah, because last time was about 10 years ago, and of course Stan Riggs was running the show 10 years ago.
Stan was doing it then, and I wasn't working for the county at that time, and so this is my first time to really get that close and understand how the process works. And I'm real happy with Chaves County. Our officials, of course, they want to do things and want to do things right.
Sure.
It's not like the Congressional District 2 that the state has rigged up so that
their only agenda is accuracy, no other
well, I'm not even sure about that. I think their only agenda is to make sure that their people that they want in place get in place and give them an advantage or a step up. It seems like that happens a lot throughout the process. I want to quote what Jeff Bilberry said in the newspaper. I just pulled it up on my phone. What we ended up doing is he didn't coin this term, but he uses it quite often. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
So ultimately what happened with
it's a term that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So just keep using
it. Just keep going along. So we've had our commission districts for the last 10 years. And so the question was asked, well, what would happen if we left them the same? Where are we at there?
Yeah, how far off are we?
And so ultimately what they did after looking at all 7 plans, the plan that they ended up voting on and approving yesterday was the same as the plan that they've used for the last 10 years, with the exception of one precinct. They were able to move one precinct, and by doing that, it got the numbers within the 5% tolerance and all.
So really, as far as redistricting goes, it's pretty much the same for most people in the county.
Yeah, there's one neighborhood that's kind of east of Goddard High School that ends up moving from District 3, which is Commissioner Bilberry's district, into District 1, which is Commissioner Dana's district.
Okay.
And so...
so you'll just vote for a different commissioner here on the next election term.
You know, and that seems to have worked pretty well for us over the last 10 years. So it seems like it should work pretty well for us over the next 10 years.
Seem we got it right that last time.
And Commissioner Bilberry, the quote that I wanted to make that he made was, "The voters are the ones who should decide who their elected officials are, not the people that prepare plans, not the governing body that adopts the plans." He said redistricting should not be done to try to prevent someone from running for office or to favor someone's desire to be a candidate in a particular district. And I mean, they nailed it. I really feel like that they did a great job of doing that.
As close as making a level playing field for everybody involved.
For Commissioner Bilberry to be so eloquent, I just really felt like I needed to read that word for word, because he really impressed me there. So he did a great job. But no, I'm all kidding aside.
He said it, not me, Bill.
The redistricting.
I thought you were very articulate.
The redistricting is done, and I think they did a great job. They really poured over each of the plans, looked at each different boundary and the demographics.
And that's where the time involved is, because like they're saying, they're taking, Mr. Dare obviously came up with these 7 different maps, and I'm sure each commission, in their downtime and in the bathrooms or wherever they go when they're reading their private stuff, we're going through each of these maps and really fine-tooth combing through it and saying, hey, which one looks to make sense? And then after going through those, like they said, it came up. So, all right, well, how far off are we anyway from what's currently sitting here? And it turned out we're not that far off. So, again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The path of least resistance is sometimes the best way to go here, and it turns out in this scenario, in this case, that's exactly what it was.
Well, and it's not only the 5% variation from the ideal number, but there's also the demographic information, the population diversity.
Sure,
you want to make sure that you're not creating an area that reduces someone's ability to elect someone because you've changed the demographic of the makeup of the people. And so, they have to be very careful with all of that stuff. We ended up with 4 out of 5 commissioner districts have greater than a 50% Hispanic population, which matches up with the census
I was about to say,
of our area.
I don't think we had a major, cultural shift in our county at all.
We didn't. And so you don't want to, load it so that one district is all going to vote one direction or anything like that. So
because nothing's going to get done that way.
Right.
It just isn't.
We need to have a good representative sample of what our community is and how it's made up. And I really feel like they did a good job of that. And like I say, they had to pour over every one of these plans, whether it was one that they were very interested in or not. They had to really weigh the pros and the cons of each one. And I'm glad this only happens once every 10 years.
Well, and they did their job right. And when we talk about government work, fast is never an option. Getting it right is the best you can hope for when it talks to government. Decisions made, being a government official versus being a private industry official are night and day different. There's different. And, obviously all's looking at money here, but the county don't look at it as a money-making adventure. They don't look at things like that. They're looking, all right, where's balance? Where's fairness? How do we create equal opportunity, equal playing field for all of our residents here? And so to go through and do the time, that takes a lot of time. And so that's their job. That's how they do it. If anything other than doing that, they're not doing the job right. And that's
absolutely. And that's, you kind of on a different subject. That's why we have our Chaves County Comprehensive Land Management Program, so that we have determined what the best use of properties are within Chaves County. Ranching, farming. Those are vocations that bring they're the main vocations in Chaves County.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so we have to be cognizant of how those areas are used and how those lands are used. And when outside entities such as the federal government come in and want to switch things up and take land off of the tax rolls and take away the ability for ranchers to lease those and graze cattle and those things, they look at all that stuff very, very carefully.
Absolutely.
And all of this kind of intertwines and ties together.
It's all connected. So, yeah, absolutely. And that's what they're dealing with. So time is, yes, because of COVID and everything, it kind of created a little bit of sense of urgency on this one. And the fact that the census numbers came out way late.
They came out so late because of, and they say because of COVID, but everything's blamed on COVID these days. So.
But obviously by going till the second to last day of the year, they're like, no, we're going to take every available moment here to make sure we get this right. And that's what they did.
Right.
And I think here the last day of the year we're looking at and say, yep, they nailed it. They got it right.
Well, there were a couple of plans that were requested. These plans are kind of developed. They came out with 5 plans first. Rod Adair came out with 5 plans and then 4 plans. And then those plans were augmented by public input, by the input from the commissioners, and then the 5th plan came out.
And those are kind of hybrids of the original 4 a little bit.
Yes, and then the 6th and 7th plans came out just prior to the last county commission meeting, and that was really the reason they came up with the special meeting on the 30th, is because we didn't feel like we had adequately put those out for people to see. They came in at such a late date that we were unable to really get them posted for people to look at, and that's what they're all about is open government.
And that's the other part I really failed to mention in all that is during this time of debating, yes, our commissioners are consulting with their constituents and saying, what's issues are you having with plan A, B, whatever it is, or what do you like about this? And so the county commission in and of itself are taking those variables into their decision-making process as well. So it's that, they're using their gut and the reason why we put them there in the first place, because we kind of like the way they think. And then they take our input and put that together. And now you see what the plan that we got to put together here.
Right.
So it's a good thing. It's a good the process. Like you said, it's monotonous and tedious and you want to pull your hair out some days, but at the end of the day, it's a good process and it's probably the most fair and agreeable way to achieve the end game we want to achieve here.
Right. If people play by the rules and don't gerrymander and try to fix things up so that their brother-in-law can become the next commissioner or something, and we had none of that in our county commission.
And then when it does
stuff.
happen, we the appropriate people call that out and make that put that out there on the table so everyone sees what's going on there.
So we feel very comfortable and confident that they selected the right plans. They really poured over it. If you see one of your county commissioners, give them a shout out, give them a pat on the back for the time that they spent doing this. It was really difficult.
Yeah. Buying breakfast, but individually, not at one place together.
Not more than 2 at a time.
Don't take Tara and Jeff and another one. You just take.
Well, that's the other thing too. They won't let you buy their breakfast.
No, that's true. I joke,
but
yeah.
Every once in a while, I want them to buy my breakfast.
Ooh.
And I'm not asking them to do that or anything, but if they
you start hanging out with Will, it's like I see you're eating, Will. I'm gonna He'll buy you a burrito too. I got you.
I'm all about the food, especially the burritos.
As any good red-blooded human being should.
So we did 2 things at the commission meeting yesterday. The second thing was we decided to join in the New Mexico opioid settlement.
We talked a little bit about this a couple weeks ago.
Just a little bit, yeah. And so what happened is last minute notification, literally the week of our last county commission meeting, the Association of Counties says, oh, you have until January the 2nd to join the opioid settlement in New Mexico. So the big producers of opioids have been sued, basically a class action lawsuit. There's something like $26 billion to be divided up between counties and municipalities with more than 10,000 people if they join in.
Which really...
We weren't in the original suit, but now they've opened it up. If you meet that criteria, you can say, yes, I would like our cut.
Which makes sense because obviously the opioid epidemic and everything that's going on has impacted every county, every community, every municipality in the United States of America. And even if they weren't originally on the suit, the victims of it can benefit through education, through the monies that will go to hopefully put towards education and outreach of curtailing the opioid epidemic.
It's about a 150-page document that I read, and it's just one of the first documents I think that are going to be coming out for this. And so reading through it, glossing over it, however you want to look at it, because I'm certainly not a lawyer and I didn't want to spend that many hours reading line by line what's in there, but they call it opioid remediation. So, education is one of the things that you'll be able to spend money. You can't just use the money for whatever. It doesn't go into your general fund.
Can't build a bridge with it.
But it does need to go towards correcting the problems that the opioids have caused in our nation. And the manufacturers have either accepted their responsibility, or the courts told them they were going to accept their responsibilities. I don't know exactly how it shook out.
So just out of curiosity, obviously, so counties elected to get in, jump in on board. Hey, we got money coming. We'll sign up for the money. What do they have any kind of time frame of when they expect to start seeing the actual monies from this coming into the coffers?
No, and they don't really have a dollar amount yet, because they need to know how many people are going to join in before they can divvy it up. They I think kind of have an idea of what the overall amount is going to be, but depending on how many people within the state, not only our state but other states, join in, then that state gets a certain percentage of the overall amount.
Based on population, the bigger the population, the bigger percentage of the money you get.
I think so. And I did see it in the document. There is a list that shows the percentages each state will get, and then it's broken down within the state based on the population, like you say, with the different counties, municipalities that meet those requirements.
Yeah.
And so we divvy it up equally, but we don't know what those amounts are going to be.
Sure.
Just the main thing is getting on board now so that we can.
And that's kind of there. I imagine there's a couple schools of thought on that. And on the surface, that probably seems the most fair. But then one could also argue, well, okay, where's the trouble spots? Where's the hot spots? Where's the parts in the state that this is really bad? Maybe we should focus the monies on those areas versus maybe areas that it's not an issue. And you know what? There's arguments both ways. That
sometimes places with a real high population have real high drug problems. Other times, real poor areas have high drug problems. And so I think you're right. I think you probably need to kind of follow where the issues are and maybe divide it up that way in a perfect world. Whether it goes that way or not, I'm not certain. But
that's what's going to be next after all said and done.
As you said earlier, though, every community in the U.S., probably worldwide, has got some degree of opioid problem.
Yeah.
And you see the homeless people on the streets. Many of those have opioid issues.
There's a lot of people in the audience right now saying that communities, I got it in my own home here or in my own family.
Well, and I think that's why they found the manufacturers at fault, is because they made it too easy. If someone had a surgery, then we're going to push that you prescribe this, and you don't take them off in the time that they need to.
They didn't fully make the public aware of the consequences of that. It's like smoking. I mean, nowadays, it's kind of on your own if you pick up smoking, but back in our parents' time, it was a different mindset. It's like, oh, it's relaxing, it's gonna, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, it's gonna kill you over time. But it's the same level we're talking.
No, I think of some of the chores we had when I was a kid. Go empty the ashtrays. It's like, what? People wouldn't even, what?
Yeah.
But that was a real thing. I mean, just about any house you went into, their ashtrays just overflowing.
You're walking around stores, barbershops, restaurants, airplanes.
Doctor's offices, hospital waiting rooms. People are smoking.
Doctor's got a stogie hanging off his mouth. Like, you're pretty sick, son.
need to give that up. But times have changed. But the opioid settlement, I think, will be a good thing to get some of that money back into circulation to help offset some of the problems that, of course, have occurred because of opioids.
Absolutely.
So,
well, and you and I have had these discussions before. I think anytime we address mental health, and I think opioids is kind of a kissing cousin there a little bit.
I would think.
In that same ballpark there. I think that's better for everything. I would say, if we tackle these kind of and make these more manageable problems, I say our gun issues, our violence issues, some of our racial issues, I think all that starts lessening because we're addressing kind of what is one of the heart of the problems of
maybe
these other
root
things.
causes kind of thing.
Exactly.
And I want to apologize to any healthcare professionals because I'm sure they hate it when people say, well, opioids, and that's why we've got homeless people. That's not what I mean at all. It's there's
the
a certain
overuse
amount.
Of them.
The overuse of those, but I mean, I know that there's a variety of issues that cause people to be homeless or have mental health issues. And all, it's not only that, but I think we're right. I think these dialogues where you can talk about that and figure out what maybe some of those root causes are ultimately ends up in finding a way to help some of those people that want to be helped.
Any product that has the ability to alter someone's desire to change their life like that, you've got to take serious. And that's what an opioid does.
Right.
Because in essence, once they're addicted, their priorities change. The priorities change from, I got to go to work today, is no, I got to get my fix today. If going to work includes that, so be it. And that's where our problems with drugs are. It's no different with narcotics, your cocaines, and it's the same. You're feeding it, and then I would argue that you're taking these drugs to fill another issue, which is
other voids and gaps in your life, issues.
But the point is, we as a society, we're saying, okay, we go to the doctor. Oh, guess what? I got a root canal. Well, here's a bunch of Percocet for you.
Right.
Probably could have gave us some Tylenol, would have been good with it. Instead of hitting us we went the nuclear option when we didn't have to, and that's the problem. I think we're cleaning up the mess from that now is what we're doing.
I've always been real fortunate. The couple of times a doctor prescribed anything like that to me, I took one and it made me so sick that I had no desire to ever take a second one. I'd rather deal with the pain.
And and again, and I'm sure as scientists, and people's personalities and their DNA, some people, they get that reaction. Another person's like, ooh,
all right,
that was awesome. I want another one of those. Yep. And there lies your problem.
Right.
And so, but yeah, and that's where we got to learn. We got to do more research, more study. We kind of know these things, but why it happens that way and what's going on in the brain to cause all that, we're still.
Yeah. And like you say, it's a cause because there's some other void or issue that you're trying to cover up or heal and take care of.
Maybe
man, we've really touched on a lot of really good stuff.
But
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on the radio.
Well, but we all are logical thinking people.
No,
and
you're
we
right.
look and we could say, all right, maybe what we don't know, maybe this will help break some of those barriers to learn that, and so we can make better laws and make better decisions on how we do these things going forward.
And understand the people that are plagued by problems because of it, and try to understand and adjust our way of thinking, our way of life to help others, in our community. That's a good thing.
Yeah. So, yes, I'm glad to see county, everybody's jumping on board, and who knows, maybe that money comes through and some programs and things here will get a big boost because of that.
Yeah, I'm really hopeful. And we have some really good programs. We've got our DWI programs and the school programs that we have, just say no to drugs, all those things. We've got some really strong people in our community that work tirelessly to make those things work.
Absolutely. I think we got a great job educating. I think, I think maybe now it's time to keep the education going. Don't stop there. But now let's work on the problem-solving side and not, why is these things happening and how can we prevent this from
When we were talking before we went on the radio about treatment, Senator, it's not all education. Some of it's going to have to be treatment and other options. And of course, it takes people that know a lot more about it than I do to figure out where that balance is. But you're right. It's a part of it.
Who knows? Maybe, like you look at Narcan and some of those advances on saving lives in a dying situation. Who knows? Maybe they're able to come up. I know this sounds pretty oxymoronic, but in essence, a pill that removes addiction. I don't know. I know that sounds a little weird, but who knows? Is that the direction it goes in, or maybe it's just therapy and through different mind altering experiences will change the thought patterns on addiction. Who knows?
But certainly, like you say, the education has proven itself as an excellent tool, especially with younger people. You go in and you explain to them. I remember when I was in elementary school and they showed films, and the film would break. the AV guy would have to push it in. And he was the only one that could touch the projector and that stuff.
You begged to use the film strip flipper.
They scared us to death about everything. Back in the late 60s, early 70s, when they would show you a film about drugs, it scared you straight.
The boogeyman lurked in many corners when we were kids.
Right.
You know, I think the only ones who are equally as bad is those driver education videos they would show us. Where blood flows red on the highway.
Well, the ones I liked were in, they used to have classes called industrial arts in school, and you had shop and those things. And Primitive Pete was one of my favorites because he would do things and hurt himself. He acted exactly the way I act. He's like, hey, you are kind of primitive.
He's kind of a kindred spirit over here. Yeah, and they did the same thing to me in the Air Force, like in those industrial, like the training, why you don't wear jewelry on the flight line.
Right.
And so they'll show some guy with his wedding ring, he left it on, but he slipped down a ladder and in essence turned his umbrella or his finger into an umbrella with that ring, kind of thing. And stuff like that. They scare you, all those videos and stuff. But I think it's a different time. They don't do that so much.
Yeah, I think they took up a different approach.
But point is, I know we got off track there.
I know,
it sounds
that was
like
fun.
Yeah, but it sounds like this could be getting some extra money, and maybe we'll see some good things come out of that in the future.
I think so. And we don't know, we have no idea how much money it's going to be. It may be a very small amount, but whatever it is, we're glad to get it and to put it towards the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. So anything else that came out of yesterday that we probably should let folks know about, or that pretty much cover it?
No, that's it. We stayed on track. It was a very tight schedule yesterday. Stayed on track and just got it done. And we're looking forward now to next month's meeting. Will be a week early.
Yes.
Because the New Mexico Association of Counties Legislative Conference is during the third week of January. That's when we normally have our meeting. So we will be having our county commission meeting the second week of January.
To
Thursday, the 13th, I believe it is. So if you're interested in coming, come on down.
Absolutely. And we might probably have to get you on a little earlier too, or something to
talk
about that.
And there's this is January, so there's a lot of housekeeping stuff. We have to pass our resolutions for the Open Meetings Act, and we have to go over that every year to say we're going to follow these rules and do things appropriately.
It's housekeeping,
by statute.
but very necessary.
Housekeeping. Yeah, absolutely. It's an annual reminder that you need to do it the right way, and we appreciate that.
Well, and obviously to your folks and everything, it's second nature because that's how it should be. And
right.
So it's the way the world works, and if you do it
the ones that are weird is every so often there's a statute that says in every odd year you have to approve this, or you have to pass this, or you have to
just something to keep
this.
you on your toes,
and
I guess.
I would much rather it be every year because it's a whole lot easier than to remembering, is this an odd year or an even year?
It's like, did I take the trash out tomorrow or the next day? That debate we all have. So,
but anyway, we're looking forward to the new year. Have great things planned for Chaves County, and we're always here to help. If anyone has any requests, need your roads fixed, whatever, call the road department. If you need other things, give us a call. We want to work towards solutions.
Absolutely. Well, happy 2022 and New Year. Welcome to the New Year here. And we'll see you here, I guess, probably a week earlier in January here.
Right.
I'll call you next week. And we'll nail out a time when you have a better idea, and I do too.
Sounds good.
And then we'll get that going. And of course, if you have any questions about anything, don't hesitate. Go to the county's website. You'll find contact information for all of our county commissioners, and if you got questions or things you'd like to put on their radar, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, and the maps are all still up. So if you're interested in which maps which districts they
chose, and
boundaries they chose, they're on there. So you can
there you go. Find the winners.
Right.
Get your pictures with them. Get a selfie with the winning map. Well, thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Happy holidays. Happy New Year to you and your family.
I'm glad you made it back from Dallas.
We did. We made it back. And a day later, and a steak in my belly more than I anticipated, but it's all good. So excellent. Thank you, sir. We'll see you next time.
Okay.
It is 9:55. Let's take
now for your Pecos Valley News update. I'm
business.
Jared Cirillo. Good news for the city of Roswell, as Joe Bauman Stadium has been chosen to be the New Mexico site for Major League Baseball's list of baseball road trip locations. The stadium in southern Roswell is located on East Poe Street. It's named for the late minor league slugger who played there and hit 72 home runs for the Roswell Rockets in 1954. That number set a professional baseball single-season record that stood for decades. Today, Joe Bauman Stadium is home to the minor league Roswell Invaders. With the arrival of the new year, new laws are taking effect in New Mexico, aiming to bolster access to health insurance while eliminating many court fines against juveniles that are viewed as counterproductive. One bill approved by Governor Grisham and the state's Democrat-led legislature adds a 2.75% surtax on health insurance premiums. The upfront payments made on behalf of an individual or family to keep their insurance active. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty nice for the next couple of days. We have high pressure overhead, and our temperatures will be on a little bit of a warming trend. 55 to 60 for the afternoon highs today, and sunshine. Overnight will be clear and cold with lows between 20 and 25. Then quite a warm up coming our way tomorrow with mid to upper 60s and lots of sun. Looks like we'll stay in the mid 60s and fair Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your latest forecast.
With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander. U.S. Airlines are asking the Federal Communications Commission to delay next week's scheduled rollout of new 5G wireless service near dozens of major airports, saying it could interfere with electronics that pilots rely on. Airlines for America, a trade group for large U.S. passenger and cargo carriers, said in an emergency filing that the FCC has failed to adequately consider the harm that 5G service could do to the industry. The U.S. Postal Service and several other private shippers reported that holiday season deliveries went smoothly for the most part. ShipMatrix, which analyzes shipping package data, reported that 96.9% of the Postal Service's shipments were on time during a 2-week period in December. Overall, it was a major improvement across the board compared with last year. On Wall Street, the Dow down 59 points, the Nasdaq down 96, and the S&P 500 fell 12 points. With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Where can you find the best selection of beautiful and unique home decor in the region? Easy, Casa Decor in Ruidoso. For years, people from all over have come to Casa Decor for the best selection of rustic, real wood furniture, beautiful decor from the Southwest and beyond, and quality outdoor furniture and accessories that are built to last a lifetime. At Casa Decor, they have over 10,000 square feet of showroom for everything you need. Casa Decor opens 7 days a week from 9:30 to 5 at 1214 Meacham Drive in Ruidoso or online at casadecorruidoso.com. Proud supporter of local high school sports.
You may have heard of SmartHub. SmartHub is Central Valley Electric's online tool for members to manage their electric account. With SmartHub, not only can you securely pay your bill online, you can view your detailed electric use 24 hours a day. You can report an outage while staying up to date with the latest co-op news, compare past and current electric use. Sign up for paperless billing or reoccurring payment so that your payment is never late. The best thing is you can access SmartHub from your computer, tablet, or smartphone, so it goes everywhere you go. Visit cvecoop.org to get started or give us a call.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job, plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard, aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Sure, we have 30 seconds to tell you that drivers who switch to Progressive could save big. But then what? Well, radio has been called theater of the mind, so let's tell a story with sound effects. Wow, it's like I was in the story. Almost makes me forget this was supposed to be about saving big with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Deep breaths. Mai's virtual meditation studio has never been busier. Imagine not working. They need a remote assistant to realign their scheduling. Blank calendar. Sorry, back to your breath. Indeed can help them hire great people fast. I need Indeed. Indeed you do. Make calls, schedule virtual interviews, and talk to candidates right from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The U.S. Treasury once considered producing donut-shaped coins. They instead decided to go with coin-shaped donuts. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 8:57. Next hour, stay tuned. We're going to be playing an interview Sean had last Wednesday with the folks from Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southeast New Mexico. We're going to play that for you next hour. But if now that we're full into 2022 here and you haven't broken your New Year's resolutions yet, maybe your one of your resolutions is to get more involved, be a better supporter of our community. Well, I got a way to keep that resolution going by donating blood via Vitalant. They've got their blood drive calendar for the month of January out. They will not be doing a blood drive here in Roswell until January 14th. That will be taking place at the Vitalant office on Friday, January 14th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call or text Stephanie with Vitalant to schedule an appointment or have any questions. You can reach her via her cell at 575-840-8178. And like I said, you can text that number or call it to get an appointment, 575-840-8178. If you live in Carlsbad or Artesia, they've got some blood drives coming up before the 14th. Their first blood drive of 2022 will take place in Carlsbad this Wednesday, January 5th. They're going to have the Blood Mobile out at Carlsbad Medical Center from 1 to 5 p.m. So for folks in the Carlsbad area, can call Stephanie, 575-840-8178 and donate there. For folks in Artesia, your next blood drive will be this Thursday, January 6th. They're going to be doing a blood drive at Central Valley Electric there at their main office in the Jack Chase Community Room. That'll be from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. there in Artesia. Once again, call or text Stephanie with Vitalant, 575-840-8178 to get an appointment scheduled or if you have any questions. But for folks in Roswell, if you want to get in on the next blood drive, it will be on Friday, January 14th at the Vitalant office from 11 to 3. Once more time, call Stephanie, 575-840-8178. All right, it is 9 o'clock, time for some Town Hall News. We'll be back.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Due to extreme pressure and weather conditions, it literally rains diamonds on Neptune and Uranus. Stop snickering because I said Uranus.
I'm Jeremy House. The U.S. is expanding COVID-19 boosters as it confronts the Omicron surge, with the FDA allowing extra Pfizer shots for children as young as 12. Boosters already are recommended for everyone 16 and older, and federal regulators decided they're also warranted for 12 to 15-year-olds once enough time has passed since their last dose. The post-holiday travel woes continue. Wintry weather combined with the pandemic is making it hard for air travelers to return home from the holidays. Travel industry analyst Henry Hartevelt says bad weather in Chicago over the weekend only compounded the issue of staff shortages for airlines.
We are having a series of problems that result in cascading delays and cancellations, making air travel right now an exercise in frustration.
The tracking service FlightAware says over 1,700 U.S. flights were canceled as of this morning. Meanwhile, a winter storm is blanketing streets in and around the nation's capital, closing government offices and schools and grounding the president's helicopter. Verizon and AT&T have rejected a request by the U.S. government to delay the rollout of next-generation wireless technology.
In a joint letter to the Transportation Department and the Federal Aviation Administration, the telecommunications giants dismissed concerns brought by U.S. airlines that a new 5G wireless service could interfere with aviation electronics. However, the CEOs of Verizon and AT&T also wrote that they were willing to accept some temporary measures over the next 6 months to limit the service around certain airport runways. The 5G rollout is scheduled for this week. Greg Clugston, Washington.
On Wall Street, the Dow's ahead by 65 points. The NASDAQ is up 133.5. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Are you more than $10,000 in debt? Feel like you're on a never-ending treadmill, staying in one place and never getting ahead with those minimum payments? You feel like there is no way out? Don't let the credit card companies bully you anymore. There are programs in place to help you get free of your debt, and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. The program at Total Financial Freedom can help you get debt-free in months instead of decades. Get off the debt treadmill and stop the harassment. Get free of credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and medical bills. Call now at 800-670-5450 for free information. For about 10 years, Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands. They're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, too. Get off the endless cycle without having to declare bankruptcy. You'll have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Call Total Financial now at 800-670-5450. That's 800-670-5450.
Sudan's Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok announced his resignation Sunday. BBC correspondent Emmanuel Lagunza reports there was violence on the streets of Sudan's capital prior to the announcement.
At least 2 people were killed in the Khartoum's twin city of Durban. And we are also hearing reports of hundreds who have been injured. And this happened also last week when 6 protesters were killed, and hospitals were really overwhelmed by the number of people who had either suffered gunshot wounds or had suffocated due to the fire gas that was fired at them by security forces.
Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro is in a Sao Paulo hospital for tests after experiencing abdominal discomfort. A Brazilian government statement published by the global media outlet said Bolsonaro is doing well. News and analysis at townhall.com. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says he's tested positive for COVID-19 and is experiencing mild symptoms while quarantining at home.
In a statement Sunday night, Austin said he plans to attend key meetings and discussions virtually in the coming week to the degree possible. He said Deputy Secretary Kathleen Hicks would represent him in appropriate matters. Austin said he last met with President Biden on December 21st, more than a week before he began to experience symptoms, and he tested negative the morning of that day. Austin said he was fully vaccinated and received a booster in October. He said he requested a test Sunday morning after experiencing symptoms while at home on leave, and given the result, planned to remain in quarantine for 5 days, per guidelines from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
South Korea says a person who crossed the border into North Korea on New Year's Day was likely a defector who had slipped through the same heavily fortified frontier in the other direction in late 2020. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos.
There you go. You got it, Roy.
I almost forgot what to say.
You nailed it. 106, hour number 3 of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5. Roswell's Talk FM. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy 2022. Hope you're having a good start to the new year. If not, got a lot of time to turn it around.
So we're living in the 20s.
We are.
Technically.
We are. The roaring 20s.
The return of the flapper girls.
That's right. Got it all. Get it all The Roaring 20s. Life is good. No alcohol, except there was alcohol. But anyway. But, yeah, welcome to the new year. Hope you're having a good one. Hope it's working out well for you. Weather, not too bad today, mid-50s. It's going to be pretty nice all week. A little roller coastery weather-wise towards the back half, where we're going to be like upper 60s one day, then low 50s the next, and 70s one day. But we'll get you up to date on all that here in just a bit. We'll chit-chat for a little bit, and then, of course, we're going to play our interview. We had Sean Smalls on last Wednesday. I was supposed to be back, but I got stuck in Dallas, so I wasn't back. Interviewed the folks from Big Brothers Big Sisters. We're going to play that for you here in just a few minutes, getting an update there and talking about that. And like I said, I was talking about Vitalant and United Blood Services, good donate blood. If you're looking to find organizations, find things to get involved in the community, maybe that's a New Year's resolution for you. Say, hey, I want to. That's way easier to keep, way better to keep than the ones we don't make. You know, I'm going to quit smoking, drinking, whatever. That one never works. I'm going to lose weight. That one. Right now, you all are hardcore at it. I got you. You got your gym membership.
It's easy to forget by February.
By I give it a week. Y'all are going to be maybe a couple, and y'all be back to doing what you're doing before. Life happens.
It reminds me of that meme I saw where it was like Kermit the Frog sipping tea or something. It says like I don't care about the winter stacking on during the winter or something like that. Like don't lie, y'all were fat in August.
That's true. I don't think any of us really do that summer bod, winter bod. I think they just stay fat, and at some point you're like, all right, I should do something about this, and then you do something about it, or you don't. But it is what it is. But if you're looking for something a little more sustainable, get involved. Pick an organization. I say this every time, and I don't care what your passion is, whether it's pets or kids or sports or finances or government, whatever it is, I don't care. But pick your passion and be more active in trying to make that a better thing. And I think that's a great New Year's resolution. That really is one that's easy to stick to if you do it right, I think. You just got to stick with your passion. Now, if your passion's to do nothing, God bless you, but it might be a little harder there.
Yeah.
And I get those people. I get you. I'm a loner type myself. I'm not happy in groups of people. I'm better off by myself and working projects. I can work in groups. I do it. I was in the military. I mean, I have the abilities. It's not my jam. It's not my preference. I can do it. I do it. But if I had my druthers, I'll take by myself in a room entertaining myself over just about anything else. That's just what I prefer. But not everybody's built like that.
Yeah.
So, but I get those people that are, and I understand. But come out of your comfort zone a little bit for some of that. You'll find it's better for you. I mean, if I was left to my own devices, I'd be in trouble. I'd be done. I'd just be, I'd be a fat slobbing mess. I'd probably that guy on TLC, my 600-pound, where they got to get a forklift to get you out the house. And I'd have no desires and things. But yeah, I go out of my comfort zone and turn out to like some things, and now I do stuff. Find out what you're good at.
Change the subject. I know we're sick of talking about movies.
But you got a movie question?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, like I saw the first Matrix.
All right.
in a long time.
Okay.
After, for the first time in a while.
You saw it originally, and then you hadn't seen it for a while, and you watched it again.
Yeah. There was a lot I didn't remember. And it's a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's an excellent movie.
Yeah, the first one's good.
Yeah, and then but I can't help but that third act. That and I'm a fan of kung fu, or that whole over the top John Woo action. That was my whole childhood.
Beyond human like moves and things.
Yeah, that was my whole childhood and stuff. Like, but it goes from like a psychological thriller sort of to like an action schlock, like schlocky action movie. Like,
sure.
Like my brain just turned off once the like. The helicopter shooting a Gatling gun.
And you haven't seen the second or third one yet, right?
No.
I hate to burst your bubble, but they basically turned those into that.
Yeah.
The storyline gets weaker, and the action picks up. Like it's like the second and third one have epic fight battles, like you're like on the level of like Lord of the Rings with the the massive fight. It has that level of stuff going on in those two. I mean, there is the psychological part. It's just not as good because everything they sold you on in the first one, they're trying to like get you to rethink in the second and third one. And so that's why this is the point I was making off air. The Matrix was a good standalone movie. They turned out it was a hit, and they tried to make it into a franchise, and it's not a franchise. It just isn't. It's the story was written to have a good finite ending at the end of the Matrix, and everything else has been crowbarred in afterwards, and it cheapens the story.
I feel like there's a bit of sequel baiting though in the first movie.
Yes and no. I mean, yeah, they do what they do. That's Hollywood. But the way that was ended is him being the one, and then the one's going off to enlighten the world and all that.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert if you've never seen the Matrix movie. And then you give you a second one like, well, no, here's the deal, da 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 da, and I'm not going to give the premise there, but in essence, it's like saying it's all fake, it's not real. You know what I mean? And then it's like, what? So now to get 3 more of those of telling me it's all fake and not real, and I have no idea what this new one's what direction, or is it going to say, oh, it was real? I don't know what they're going to do, but.
Yeah, neither you nor I have
seen the last one. Yeah, so I don't know.
One.
I have not seen. So to me, the franchise was flawed to begin with because it shouldn't have been a franchise. The Matrix movies after the Matrix aren't good. They're just not. I mean, if you like 2 hours of fighting and all that, then you're going to love them because it's. But if you're looking for a story, it's weak at best. The story is been cheapened severely by sequels of that.
Now, I haven't seen the Lord of the Rings movies yet.
I hate them, but that's just.
Are you saying the second and third ones are not as good as the first one?
I don't like any of the Lord of the Rings.
Okay,
that's 12 hours of my life I'm not getting back, and I get people like them. The Hobbits, the Ring, the Sword. It's just it's all the begats this and that. Everyone's so enlightened. I just didn't want to hear. It didn't draw me. It was
people don't like the Hobbits, but they love the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, well, it's because the Hobbits aren't sexy.
Yeah,
they're anti-heroes. They're kind of cowardly. They're kind of, you know what I mean. They're smart, short, oafish. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
They're not leading man material. That's all I'm saying. That's just they're not. And Lord of the Rings, you're like, oh, we got this wise wizard, and we got these fierce warriors. And a couple. Elf. And then the Hobbits are like, okay, they're the story, but really, they're not the stars. It's all these other guys helping the Hobbit.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're just the clowns that got to throw the ring in the fire. Everybody else is doing all the fight. You know, that's kind of the image they present. But the epic battles that they have in that's what I was talking about. Those movies, I hate them. I don't like them. Those movies could have been knocked out in half the time and been a much better movie, in my opinion. Peter Jackson, though I know he's a genius and all this, he's a pontificating windbag, and every one of his movies are pontificating windbag movies, and that's what Lord of the Rings is.
Even
to me.
King Kong.
King Kong's a pontificating windbag movie. There's so much, and that Alien 9. One with the alien when he did, where the aliens live on the planet with us and all that, and there was like it was kind of a race war.
District 9.
Yeah, that one. District 9.
That was Peter Jackson.
Yeah, that was his too. That thing's a diatribe action movie that got windbagged out and really just is everything that should be good. Peter Jackson turns into some dissertation. I'm like, ugh. I just want 2 hours of fun movie. I don't need. Look, I want to see swords and dragons and crap. I don't want to see. I don't want to be drawn out 12 hours.
Lord of the Rings is very boring too. Like the book.
Well, but they're great books as books. When you make them into movies, a book can drag you out because that's what books do. The books take a deeper dive into characters and take you to places where movies can't. That's fine in a book. But in a movie, you can't do that. That's why the books are always better than the movies. Because you can't do in a movie what you do in a book. And if you take something that's from a book and you do it just like the book, it's not going to be good.
Right.
Like Harry Potter, they found that they followed those closely to the book up until about the fourth one. then they're saying, oh, man, if we put everything that's in these books, because that's when the books start getting thicker, too, if you notice, we're going to make a 7-hour movie, and it would be boring. And so they had to eliminate things out of Harry Potter that are in the books that are never making the movie because it just doesn't work in a movie. And Peter Jackson doesn't realize that. He takes all these books and just puts everything in. It's like, dude, we didn't need to know all this. This movie didn't have to be 4 hours long. It didn't have to be. It could have been 2 hours and got the same message and and probably more entertaining movie. And don't get me wrong, I like long movies. I mean, I watch one of my favorite movies of all time is Gettysburg. It's a 4-hour movie. Love that movie. It's not a length thing. If it needs to be length, if the length that needs to be there, then I'm fine with it. My opinion, Irishman was fine. 3 hours, I was entertained. But Lord of the Rings, you don't need all that. It's too much filler and not enough story. That's just
4 hours, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
Irishman?
Irishman, something like that. But it's at home. That thing never made it to a movie screen, if you think about it. Yeah. I'm at home. I get tired of watching it. I hit pause and go to the bathroom or get my popcorn. In the movie theater, I'm expecting to, you don't want to get up. You want to get your money's worth. You're like, I can't get up and go to the bathroom. I'm going to miss an important scene. Turns out in that movie you're not, but you thought you might. It's just, anyway. I'm going to go on another diatribe if I don't. So it is 18 minutes. These are my thoughts, not express mine, because I know there's a bunch of people yelling at me right now. Lord of the Rings is a masterpiece. Okay, I'm glad you love it. It's a complete turd to me. That's just, But then again, you're probably going to watch Gettysburg and think
you
that's
said the
turd.
Hobbits aren't sexy enough. I was going to say they put the sexy elf in the Hobbit movies, even though he wasn't there in the books.
Yeah, because they knew that they're not going to sit down and watch short, hairy-footed people for 2 hours and feel any kind of way about them. That's why.
The hot takes here.
That's right. It is 19 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty nice for the next couple of days. We have high pressure overhead, and our temperatures will be on a little bit of a warming trend. 55 to 60 for the afternoon highs today, and sunshine. Overnight will be clear and cold with lows between 20 and 25. Then quite a warm up coming our way tomorrow with mid to upper 60s and lots of sun. Looks like we'll stay in the mid 60s and fair Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 29 degrees, almost to 30 here in Roswell. Humidity is at 51%. Winds currently out of the north at 5 miles per hour. Sunny today, highs in the mid-50s. 55 officially with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear skies for tonight. Chile with an overnight low of 21. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Things warm up nicely for you Tuesday. Sunny. 67 for a high tomorrow. Winds will be out of the west, 10 to 15 miles per hour for Tuesday night. Clear skies, a little bit warmer, about 10 degrees warmer than the night previous. 31 for an overnight low Tuesday with wind out of the west, 5 to 10 miles per hour. We're going to be hanging in the mid-60s, 65 and sunny for Wednesday. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear skies, overnight low of 28 Wednesday night. Thursday, cooler temperatures. Sunny skies only expected to hit low 50s, 52 on Thursday. Thursday night, clear skies with an overnight low of 23. And then we warm right back up again Friday. Sunny skies, highs mid-60s, 65 there. And then for the weekend, warm Saturday, 71 for a high on Saturday. And then back down to 60 for a high under mostly sunny skies on Sunday. So probably a little bit of wind in there, too, with those fluctuations, 10, 15 degrees one way or another. They don't talk wind Thursday on, but I'm guessing wind's going to play somewhat of a factor there, at least. Maybe not crazy winds, but enough to make it breezy to move these fronts in and out like that. So we'll see. All right, it is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and take a quick 3:18 break here. And then on the other side, we're going to play our interview Sean had Wednesday with folks from Big Brothers Big Sisters. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
What does it mean to be a world-class university? To start, being ranked in the top 2% of universities in the world, and to be the only designated R1 highest research activity university in the state. It's about creating the most opportunities for students. And at the University of New Mexico, we do just that by offering affordable, top-tier education year after year and awarding millions in scholarships to our students. So, what are you waiting for? Apply to UNM at apply.unm.edu.
Having trouble keeping up with the conversation? Here on Earth Hearing Center can help. Here on Earth is locally owned and operated and have been serving Southeast New Mexico since 1955. Let their experience help you with a free hearing assessment. If you do need a hearing device, they will guide you through every step of the process. They accept all types of insurance, including Medicaid, and all of their devices are made right here in the USA. Call and schedule your appointment today, 575-622-0375, or come by 2800 North Main, Suite 2, across from Target in Roswell. Here on Earth Hearing Center, get back in the conversation.
I am Sandra Stewart, Chaves County Assessor.
And I am Charlotte Andrade Gourlay, Chaves County Treasurer.
If someone is pressuring you to sell your property at a reduced price because you are delinquent on your taxes, beware.
If you're a delinquent, please contact the Chaves County Treasurer's Office and we will work with you to bring your account current. Please note that any real property 3 years delinquent can be auctioned off by the state of New Mexico.
For any questions, please contact our offices.
Thank you.
Ring in the new year with Greyhound Basketball. The Greyhound men's and women's basketball teams are home Thursday, January 6, 5 and 7:30 p.m. versus Oklahoma Christian, and Saturday, January 8th at 2 and 4 p.m. versus Arkansas Fort Smith. Don't miss out on every dunk, fast break, and three-pointer as the Greyhounds welcome in the new year. Tickets are only $5 for adults. Kids 8 and under are free. Eastern New Mexico University Basketball, all in.
Attention dart enthusiasts, shooters, or just plain old chuckers. B&B Newsstand in downtown Artesia is the only place for quality dart supplies and dart boards. Plus, find wacky adult gifts like novelty socks and cup towels, candleberry candles, Zippo lighters, and so much more. Come in and browse all the cool stuff at B&B Newsstand. You won't be disappointed. Root beer floats, Coke floats, and the best fountain drinks in town can only be found at B&B Newsstand on the corner of Main and Roselawn in downtown Artesia. Open Monday through Friday from 11 to 7.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed, antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The catfish has over 27,000 taste buds. Do you think they prefer fried or blackened? Here's Mike Winters.
Wednesday morning. Joining us in studio this morning from Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southeastern New Mexico, New Mexico, is Kim Isendorf. How are you guys doing this morning? How are you guys doing this morning?
Doing good.
We're great. Good to hear. How was your Christmas? Good to hear. How was your Christmas?
It was lovely.
Yeah?
I had all my family home, so that makes it
awesome. Very cool.
Yep.
Long travel. I mean, a lot of travel for your family.
Portland and Denver.
Holy moly, nice. Are they still here?
Yes, they are. They're still here.
So have you hit the wall yet?
No, because I've got one granddaughter and she's here, so that's all right.
That makes
the house
everything.
looks like a hurricane hit it.
But of course, that's the best mess ever. The ones that memories are made from. But that's good to hear you haven't hit the wall yet, because everybody has that moment where like seeing your family's great and it's good to see Uncle Jim, but it's time for you to go now. It's time for you to leave. But that's good. You got the grands in town, so that definitely puts a sparkle in the eye. Do you guys have more of a traditional Christmas, or do you guys? What's the big tradition for your family? Anything specific?
We have a traditional Christmas breakfast.
Okay,
that we do.
Nice.
And it's eggs in a cream sauce that we serve on a English muffin with a slice of Canadian bacon, and you put the eggs on top.
So eggs Benedict.
It's kind of, but
essentially like an offshoot.
It's and with ambrosia. So we did that, and it was fantastic.
I love me some ambrosia.
Yes.
It's like it's low-key one of my favorite parts of any holiday meal.
Right.
I get mad when it's not on the table. It's like, you dare serve this meal without ambrosia salad? How dare you? Well, Christmas is all packed up, and actually I got yelled at because I already took my tree down. My girlfriend was like, "You're such a humbug." I'm like, my kids are at their mom's house. I don't want to see this. I have cats.
Right.
I don't want to clean this mess up every single day.
Do the cats go after the tree?
Oh,
or the ornament?
The first day they left it pretty alone. Like they were, I think they were in awe of it and confused by it. But by day 2, they were like, "I can take this down. Yeah, I can handle this." So, but yeah, Christmas was a success, and now we look forward to 2022. How was the year as we wrap things up? How was the year looking for Big Brothers Big Sisters?
Well, we've got a lot of changes going on.
Okay.
It was a good year for us from a standpoint that we were able to maintain a lot of what we'd accomplished. Of course, when they closed the schools down on us, it kind of hurt us a lot because our programs are still kind of shut down there. But we're hoping that in the next couple of months things will start opening up again here, so we can do some matches there.
Yeah, and just when you think things are starting to kind of calm down and open back up, people are getting their booster shots and everything, then you get the Omicron, rearing its head. Now people are talking more once again about shutdowns and remote learning and travel restrictions, and that's got to put a damper on. It puts a damper on everything, but especially on y'all's program because it's so involved with the kids and with the schools and being able to interact.
Right. Yeah. It Kim keeps up our Facebook and we try to stay connected in as many ways as we can. Especially all the staff calls all the littles on a monthly basis, and we've been a little more we've provided a little more service than we might ordinarily provide simply because a lot of the kids are still kind of isolated.
Right.
But in the families and stuff. But things are going okay. We've got some changes coming up.
Okay.
Over the next month. I'm retiring.
Is that right?
Yes.
Well, congratulations.
Well, I think
Question
so.
mark?
But I've got good staff left behind. Kim is one of them. She's our office administrator. She'll handle
everything.
dot.
It's no different than what she's already been doing.
Right.
But and then another, I'm really excited about some other changes we're making. There are currently 3 agencies in New Mexico that are Big Brothers Big Sisters. There's one in Albuquerque, one in Santa Fe, and one in Roswell.
Right.
And a lot of it, we used to have like 5 or 6, and as time goes by, some of the larger agencies have partnered with the smaller agencies, and it's worked. It's a win-win for everything. And so we're going to be partnering with Central New Mexico, which is out of Albuquerque.
Okay. So now we'll be tied in with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central New Mexico, and we'll essentially cover the entire southern swath of the state.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
It's happened in Farmington. It's happened in Las Cruces. It's happened in Alamogordo. It's becomes an issue of economies of scale.
Sure.
If we kind of merge with them, then we don't have 2 insurance policies to pay for.
Right.
We don't have 2 national fees to pay for, and it's
it's resource management essentially.
It is, yeah.
And not only that, but it also opens up our program here in southern New Mexico to more resources, to more funding, to more to maybe to more attention.
Yes.
Finally getting some attention from the North 40.
Yeah.
Which is nice. We don't get that down these parts very often. So
yeah.
That's kind of nice.
What hasn't changed, we're still going to have our office here in Roswell, our office in Artesia, and we're going to have the same board of directors.
Good. I think that's a big fear too with consolidation is loss of local access and the abilities for those agencies to continue to function. But yeah, no fear there because the Roswell and Artesia office will still be there, will still be functioning, and just better, just with more more resources and better management.
Well, and then all the donations that we receive locally will stay local.
Okay.
Our donors don't have to worry about, the money they give here going up to Albuquerque or elsewhere. That will be a thing that will stay.
Okay. So they designate those funds specifically for the southern the southern half of the state for these folks, for these offices.
Yeah.
So some big changes coming in 2022. I'll tell you, that's exciting.
Yeah, and I think it's everything's that I've tried to do, and we've all tried to do, is make sure that the kids are still serviced here in Southeast New Mexico. I talked to the people up in Farmington that merged with Central New Mexico, and they said what it does, it really opens up opportunities for additional funding that, because we're a small agency, wouldn't be able to do, especially a lot of the federal funds.
Right, absolutely, and that's key, because you have a bigger agency like Albuquerque. They have access not only to the folks who can who are writing the grants, grant proposals and things like that. So they have access to all those extra funds. Those funds can be designated for Southern New Mexico.
Yes,
it's win-win.
Yeah, it is. And the program we have right now, I think it's going to be nothing but growth from a standpoint of a lot of the services that we provided here, we can switch over to more recruitment and marketing and things like that to get our name out and to recruit bigs and to recruit littles.
And that's really what it's all about. I mean, you could talk about offices and consolidation, funding and grant writing and all that till you're blue in the face, but ultimately it's about connecting bigs with littles. It's about taking kids who don't, who maybe don't have a positive influence in their life, who can show them the right way to be, or just be there for them, and giving them a chance for an hour a week, a couple hours a week to just be a normal kid.
Yes,
that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the program itself. Obviously, there's always a need. We're always looking for bigs. I'm sure that we're flooded with littles, but we're also in this transition period with we don't know masks with COVID protocols, what's open, what's not open. So it presents a challenge, and I think a lot of folks maybe are hesitant to jump on board because of they're not sure what hoops they have to jump through.
Yes, and that's one thing that's come out of this whole deal with COVID is virtual meetings, a lot of stuff that we haven't really been able to do in the past, because it has to be face to face. But we're finding now that it may not be meeting a child face to face is the best way, but if you can do it virtually also, then that will help.
Sure. I mean, anything is something. Essentially, a face is still a face, but it's very impersonal, and I think that's a big part of over the last year and a half with especially with like the remote learning and education. Yeah, you're still getting the education, but it just there's something that's impersonal about that. But I agree that having that person there makes a difference.
Yes,
it absolutely does. But so we're still doing face to face when it's appropriate, correct?
Yes. We shut down all of our matches for meeting in the very beginning, but now with proper protocol and stuff, our bigs and littles in the what we call a community match, where they actually go to the little's house, pick them up, and take them to whatever they're going to do their activity. Gotcha. We're doing that again.
Okay.
And some moms don't feel comfortable with that, so we work around what they do feel comfortable with, and then of course we look at what's going on in our state and stuff as far as what we got to do to provide the special needs and services in a safe manner.
Okay. So, but there's options available. So if a parent doesn't necessarily feel comfortable with their child or with a big coming and picking up their child, there's remote options. There's neutral meetup point options.
Yes.
Things like that can be arranged. It's really just a matter of discussing things and being open to what could happen.
Yeah.
Nice. And one cool thing is, I was going to point this out. I'm weird. I don't watch like regular TV. I watch YouTube a lot. So I follow this channel on YouTube it's a board game club. They play a lot of board games. But during quarantine, they were having to like work around it. One of the coolest things about the quarantine, about the pandemic, board game manufacturers put like every single board game that exists into an online form where you can play via Zoom.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like I sat and played Connect 4 with somebody via Zoom. It's such a cool thing. It's like, and he beat me 3 times. That's not the point. But there's all these different options. It really has given you a chance. You could, pop a streaming service on and both watch a movie together. There's still those options. If we're still together, on the screen, I can still hear your interactions. So there are options. It's not as personal, but there are definite options.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. So the need is out there. We are definitely still looking for bigs. Let's give folks kind of an idea of how the process works. If somebody's listening and decides, I have some extra time, I want to take some time and maybe help change a kid's life, where does the process start?
Well, you would contact us. You can either call us at 575-627-2227. That's the office. Or you can go to www.bbbssenm.org and sign up there. And so once you initiate the contact, you will have to go through an application process and a background check.
Okay.
And then there is an in-person interview. Of course, COVID rules apply, depending on what the situation is. And then once you go through the in-person interview and pass the background check, then they work on matching you with a little, and they match based on shared likes or shared interests, shared hobbies. So like if there's a little that's on the waiting list that is really interested in cooking and you happen to be somebody that just really loves to cook, you guys might be a good match. And they also do it based on personalities as well. They take all these factors into account to try to match you with a child that you guys can have things to build a relationship on.
So like if you let's say never played a game of chess in your life, you don't get matched with like a child chess prodigy or something.
Right.
That would maybe not augur well for you in the relationship department. But that's good that you guys paid so much attention to shared interest. I think that's really really important moving forward in the relationship. Absolutely. So
and then after we make the match, we don't just say, okay, Joe, here's your little Jimmy. Go out and have a good time.
Right.
We make sure that we ask for 4 hours a month.
Okay.
Excuse me.
So 4 hours a month,
sure,
a minimum, and you can do more if you want to, and if and you just kind of coordinate with the child's parent or guardian. But then the match support people will check in with you periodically, and how's it going? Do you have any questions or concerns? Do you need any guidance of any kind? They also check in with the little's family and ask the same questions, and they kind of guide the relationship and help it get off on a good footing and make sure that everything is going well.
And like you said, 4 hours is a minimum. You're going to find, you're going to start building a relationship with these kids, and you're going to want to spend time with them. You're going to want to be a part of their lives and of their stories and get to hear, how things are going with them, how things are going at school. I have a friend, Marie, who's been a big for a long time, and she's some of the littles that she's had over the years, they've gone on bigger and better things, and they still keep in contact with her. Yeah. They're still incredibly close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. We've had matches that the matches were made when the child was in 4th grade, and they're graduating from high school.
It's amazing. Yeah. And you're that positive influence. It all started with this one meetup that you're with them for the long haul.
Yeah.
You get to hear all their stories. It's really awe-inspiring, and it's as much for you as it is for them.
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've had a lot of bigs that said, I went into this thinking I was going to help change a child's life, and turns out the child changed my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You never know what you need until it presents itself in your life, and maybe what you needed was that little inspiration to kind of spur you forward a little bit.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yep.
So yeah, moving into 2022, obviously still looking for bigs, and. Now, littles too. Obviously, all taking all comers. It's always open. If you're a young person listening and maybe you think I need, I could use a little, positive encouragement in my life. It's open for kids as well.
Yeah. Yeah, most of our referrals for children come from either the parent, the guardian. Most of our kids are living with a grandmother.
Right.
Or some of them are in foster care. They don't typically have what we call a family unit type of thing. And that's part of the reason that I think the guardian, the parent, single mom wants to have another influence in their life so that they can kind of open up a child's perspective on what is available out there, not just what they see is available to them.
Exactly. Yeah, it is a complete, like you said, a different perspective. Because a mom can have one set way of seeing things, and that can't be shook, that can't be changed until another perspective comes in and presents itself. At that point, then a perspective can change and be like, okay, well, there are other ways to go about doing this. So it really is. It's great for everyone. It's great for the parents. It's great for guardians, and really for the littles as well.
Yeah.
So moving into 2022, big things in store. Obviously, with you retiring. Any big plans for retirement?
Well, my wife's making them for me as I speak.
She's jotting things down. Yeah. So travel, I'm assuming, maybe go see a few things, visit some family.
Yep.
Okay.
We don't have anybody that lives here, so it's we either they've got to come here, or we've got to go there. So, but it'll be fun.
There you go. Opportunities for moving on, but the program itself moves forward. Now, if folks want more information about Big Brothers Big Sisters are we still calling it Southeastern New Mexico?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southeastern New Mexico. The website, little bit complicated, bbbssenm.org.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think you can just Google Big Brothers Big Sisters Roswell, New Mexico, and it'll bring you right to it.
It's a little easy. I was just going to say, just keep hitting B's and S's on your keyboard until something pops up.
Yeah, when I got there, I said, I got to change, like all our email addresses are that too, at BBBSS. I'm thinking, but I never changed. But most people, after a while, they understand what it is.
I'm presented with a similar issue because I'm on the board of directors for Tobosa, and I have to tell people that our website is trytobosa.org. It's like, why not just Tobosa? It's already taken. That's not the point.
Yeah.
So try Tobosa, but yeah. So it's a similar problem that you have to kind of. I've learned to start explaining things in military because PVBC is our email. So I always say Peter Victor Bravo Charlie. It just makes things a little easier, Unless people are, oh, that's a really long email. Peter Victor Bravo Charlie. Oh, silly. The phonic, definitions. But so bbbssenm.org, or just Google Big Brothers Big Sisters of Roswell or Southeastern New Mexico, and that'll give you the info you need to know. Or call 627-2227, correct?
Yep. And that's BBBS.
Yes. Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Oh, look at that. 627-2227. That's well played. Well, congratulations.
Well, thank you
on your retirement.
One other thing I want to say: the agency that we are partnering with now, last year they were voted the #1 agency in the whole United States for Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Yes,
awesome.
And the lady that runs it is awesome, and she's been there probably for 25 years.
That's great.
She brings a lot to the table for people here in Roswell. That's one of the things that I wanted to make sure of, and I think our programs are going to just continue to grow.
It's easy to slip into that mindset of consolidation, and people could lose jobs, and it's the corporate structure. Whatever. This isn't. It's not like that. This is basically tapping into more resources. Not only more resources, but like you said, tapping into countrywide renowned programs that have been set up through the Albuquerque program. So I mean that's phenomenal.
Yes,
it's bigger and better for Big Brothers Big Sisters here in Southeastern New Mexico. I think it's great. It's awesome. Well, Bill, Kim, thank you guys so much for your time. We appreciate having you here. And obviously, as you're moving on to bigger and better things, I'm assuming Kim, you'll be the new face of Big Brothers moving forward.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, and our local. She'll do a good job.
Oh, absolutely.
She's been the face of it, but just never in person.
Yeah, behind the scenes.
There you go. Yeah. You're the puppet master, but now you get to get down and do a little dancing.
Yes.
There you go. Well, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate having you guys here. And
well, thank you. And I really appreciate I've probably been doing this with Mike I started in 2012. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
But
almost 10 years.
You guys have helped us out on everything that we do. And I really, just from personally, you've helped me out a lot too, because I'll like I heard you this morning talking about us. We're going to be on, and him and Mike know as much about the program as probably anybody in Roswell besides us.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is we've kind of followed along with the story of from the Big Green Beast to everything, and kind of watching the program grow and change and become what it's become. It's awesome. And now you're letting the baby birds fly, leaving it in capable hands, and moving on to bigger and better things. It's awesome.
Yep.
We've grown up with you. Now we get to you're our Mr. Feeney basically.
Yeah.
And so we get to watch Mr. Feeney kind of go on to to greener pastures.
Yes.
It's been nice. Well, thank you guys once again so much for your time. And we'll definitely we'll keep the dream alive moving forward.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
We'll do our best.
All right.
Put it that way. 36 minutes after 8 o'clock.
Should matter also. It's available at your local Walmart store and Knox.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty nice for the next couple of days. We have high pressure overhead and our temperatures will be on a little bit of a warming trend. 55 to 60 for the afternoon highs today and sunshine. Overnight will be clear and cold with lows between 20 and 25. Then quite a warm up coming our way tomorrow with mid to upper 60s and lots of sun. Looks like we'll stay in the mid 60s and fair Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your latest forecast.
It's
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Let's check in with the small schools who take longer breaks than the big schools over the holidays. Don't play as in those big school tournaments, so they're anxious to get back onto the hardwood. I would assume that's true for Dexter and Hagerman. The boys and girls will be playing each other in a boys-girls doubleheader tonight in Hagerman. The girls for Dexter have played a limited schedule. They're only 2-2. Part of their slate did include a victory at Lovington, so that was a good one. Hagerman is 4-6 overall on the girls' side. Now, on the boys' side, the Hagerman boys are doing really good, 7-0. They'll be hosting, of course, Dexter tonight. Dexter is 1-5. Gateway Christian is playing a boys-girls doubleheader on Tuesday. That's against Cloudcroft at home. The girls are 7-1. The boys 1-7. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell Talk FM 106.5.
With an SRN News Business Brief, I'm Jeremy House. Verizon and AT&T have rejected a request by the U.S. government to delay the rollout of next-generation wireless technology.
In a joint letter to the Transportation Department and the Federal Aviation Administration, the telecommunications giants dismissed concerns brought by U.S. airlines that a new 5G wireless service could interfere with aviation electronics. However, the CEOs of Verizon and AT&T also wrote that they were willing to accept some temporary measures over the next 6 months to limit the service around certain airport runways. The 5G rollout is scheduled for this week. Greg Clugston, Washington.
A winter storm moving into the mid-Atlantic combined with the pandemic to continue frustrating air travelers whose return flights home from the holidays were canceled or delayed in the first few days of the new year. With business, I'm Jeremy House.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job, plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard, aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
You may have heard of SmartHub. SmartHub is Central Valley Electric's online tool for members to manage their electric account. With SmartHub, not only can you securely pay your bill online, you can view your detailed electric use 24 hours a day. You can report an outage while staying up to date with the latest co-op news, compare past and current electric use. Sign up for paperless billing or reoccurring payment so that your payment is never late. The best thing is you can access SmartHub from your computer, tablet, or smartphone, so it goes everywhere you go. Visit cvecoop.org to get started or give us a call.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed, antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
I am Sandra Stewart, Chavez County Assessor.
And I'm Charlotte Andrade Gourlay, Chavez County Treasurer.
2021 property tax bills will be late this year due to questions on the ballot for Elida, Dexter, and Lake Arthur school districts.
Property tax bills will be mailed out December 1st. The first half payment is due December 10th and delinquent after January 10th, 2022.
For any questions, please contact our offices.
Thank you.
Sure, we have 30 seconds to tell you that drivers who switch to Progressive could save big. But then what? Well, radio has been called theater of the mind, so let's tell a story with sound effects. Wow, it's like I was in the story. Almost makes me forget this was supposed to be about saving big with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Deep breaths.
Mi's virtual meditation studio has never been busier.
Imagine not working.
They need a remote assistant to realign their scheduling.
Blank calendar. Sorry, back to your breath.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Make calls, schedule virtual interviews, and talk to candidates right from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Men are 6 times more likely to be struck by lightning than women. That's because men are 6 times more likely to wear a tinfoil hat in a thunderstorm. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. Closing in on 9:57. Back going to do it for us for today's show. But I heard this early in the local news, and I kind of heard it the second time. But did I hear that we're getting some Major League Baseball to Joe Bauman Stadium? That was cool. I'm going to play the beginning of the news here just so I can hear it again for myself. But I didn't. Let's listen. Hold on.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Good news for the city of Roswell as Joe Bauman Stadium has been chosen to be the New Mexico site for Major League Baseball's list of baseball road trip locations. The stadium in southern Roswell is located on East Poe Street. It's named for the late minor league slugger who played there and hit 72 home runs for the Roswell Rockets in 1954. That number set a professional baseball single-season record that stood for decades. Today, Joe Bauman Stadium is home to the minor league Roswell Invaders. With the arrival of the new year, new laws are taking effect in New Mexico.
So we made a list as being the New Mexico locations to host like road trip Major League Baseball. So does that mean that we're like on a short list of locations? I guess maybe each state is getting, I'm just inferring based on that context we heard right there, that each state is maybe getting like a location where Major League Baseball will play a game in their town or something. And Joe Bauman's getting picked for New Mexico or on a list of potential other places in New Mexico. I'm a little muddy on that detail, but either way, it sounds cool, and maybe that would be wild, huh? If they're playing a Major League Baseball game at Joe Bauman Stadium. I mean, I'm assuming they'd pick teams that are like maybe Arizona or Colorado or the Rangers or something. But that'd be interesting. I would like to. That sounds cool. I don't know the whole story there, but that sounds pretty cool. Do you know more about that?
No,
just from that list.
That sounds insane. That would be insane if MLB actually used Joe Bauman.
Yeah, for a game, that would be really cool. So I would love to see that. Definitely. And then, of course, it's a fun place to go see a game. If you haven't been out to an Invaders game, go check one out next season when they're going to be back in action here. So
yeah, the only baseball team I know is the Rockies. Are they the Rockies?
Colorado Rockies. Yeah. They. I imagine if it would be a team
besides
in the region, like maybe
Red
the
Sox and
maybe the Dodgers, because they've got farm connections at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Not now, but they did. So I'm guessing teams that were maybe farm systems of the Albuquerque franchises, Duke City or Isotopes or whatever.
Isotopes.
So, I don't know. We'll see. We got to go. That's going to do it for us. Have an amazing day. We'll talk to you bright and early Monday or Tuesday morning tomorrow, 7 a.m. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Have a wonderful day, everybody. We'll talk to you.